Oh, it's a lovely graphic.
Uh, what, are you looking at your face again? Good evening, everyone. And Ben's looking at his face and preening. But welcome to the rest of you to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. We are not playing Traveller because it is Saturday, although we played Traveller the last 2 Saturdays. But forget about them. They were just differences of style. We're back to our usual Saturday where we play a wide range of oddities and strange little nibbles from the past, indies, all kinds of fun. And we're joined by a channel legend. I believe I referred to him as a channel legend, which is a wonderful thing. We're very excited. So if you've joined us for the first time because you've come to watch the legend, then I don't blame you. I would have done if I wasn't on. If you've stumbled across us randomly, you're very welcome. If you've been here before, you're very welcome. Hello, you're welcome to join in chat. We love to break fourth walls and chat with people, or you can lurk, or anywhere in between. There's some points to spend if you want, etc., etc. We're on Twitter at Boys Baltic. Instagram, I found out what it was. It's just the channel name, Boys from the Baltic Star. My name is Luke. I'm in the corner, and I'm getting hot, so I'm right next to the radiator. But good evening, thank you. Next to me is usually my comrade and my friend in arms, but today he's taken on the evil persona. It is Ewan, evil GM Ewan. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Pretty good, thanks, Luke. I'm obviously welcome. I used that joke last night, but it's just as unfunny tonight.
It's always a good joke. Did you feel as the afternoon went on? Did you feel sort of that Jekyll to Hyde change take over you as the playing from last night? You sort of morphed into GM for tonight.
I didn't, if I'm honest. I feel that maybe because I didn't actually get the red curtains down from the loft and hang them behind me. I think maybe it's about the ambience as much as it is the persona.
Well, you've got cats around. You've got cats around.
I have got cats around.
Pop one onto your lap if needed. So I'll start stroking furiously.
That is neither in my control nor probably going to happen tonight, but we'll see. We'll see. Cats may appear.
Let's hope so. Two along in the man who lives 24/7 in the Twin Peaks dream sequence. It is my new comrade and friend in arms. It's Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, and very much looking forward to saving Dave.
He's the best of us, quite frankly.
Truthfully, we're lost without him.
I'm concerned already. And next to Ben is indeed the channel legend. It is calling in from the other side of the world. The magic of the internet. How you doing, Sparrow?
I'm doing all right. I'm ready.
It's all right.
We gotta do this. Gotta save Dave.
Are you I'm not feeling confident.
It's like, like who would we even be if we didn't?
Oh man, could you imagine life without Dave?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Oh,
He changed me. In my heart.
I don't want to know how it changed you. I'm terrified now.
Just a good guy.
He's a great guy.
What a guy. Speaking of great guys, Ewan, what's going on?
In case you hadn't realised, we're playing a game called Save Dave, a mini game by Leighton Connor. You can pick it up. I think I got it over on Drive-Thru RPG. It's pay what you want. It seems great fun. For anybody who doesn't get the general gist of the game, or indeed Dave, it comes with a short little introduction, which we'll now go through, and we'll do some character generation, and then you guys will attempt to save Dave.
Good.
Who knows what's going to happen?
We're going to save Dave.
I have faith. I have faith in all of you.
It's the only right thing to do.
It is.
It is.
But for now, your small town is lame as hell. Total Nowheresville. A dead-end burg with nothing going on. Except for one shining beacon of awesome. His name is Dave. Dave is the coolest guy around, and he's not cool like rich football player arsehole who who dates the prom queen. He's cool in a way that everyone just likes him. He's got friends from all walks of life. Dave's got friends. When he was in high school, he's got friends. When he was in high school, he hung out with the jocks, the nerds, the burnouts, the theatre kids, the skater punks, and treated them all the same. He never had a harsh word to say about anybody. After Dave graduated, everyone figured he'd head off to the big city and make his fortune. But no, he stayed here and continued to make this small town bearable. But now, the worst possible thing has happened. Dave's been kidnapped. As his very best friend, the least you guys can do is rescue him. But before you rescue him, we need to figure out who you are. So, if everybody has their pencil, pen, and or paper stroke note document on their computer open.
Yep.
We will continue.
Ready to go.
The first thing you need to do is you need to figure out how you know Dave. What makes you Dave's best friend? There is a random table in the game for this, which I've slightly modified. You can either pick one off the table or you can roll me a d20 and we'll see what comes up.
I'll roll a d20, please.
For everyone watching back home, there's going to be a lot of rolling d20s and consulting random tables and seeing what happens and where the game takes us.
It's going to be like first edition D&D then.
Yeah. I've never
I've rolled
played
a
first
mighty
edition
11.
D&D. The mighty 11. Dave saved you from your crazy ex.
Oh, that does sound like me. Yes.
At some point in time. And presumably from there, you went on to become the best of friends. I will leave the details up to you, Ben.
Absolutely.
Sparrow.
7.
7. You met Dave at a party.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to decide whose party. Could be yours, could be Dave's, could be somebody else's, could be Ben's crazy ex's party.
I think Dave was supposed to be at that party, but I wasn't necessarily.
Cool. So the party is your beast to play with and create and to come up with whatever you want over the course of the game. Luke.
Yes. A 6.
A 6. He helped you jump your car.
Oh. What do you mean? Start the car or jump over it?
Well, I mean, that's entirely up to you. I'm going to take it in context as start the car. But, those are the words that are written down. Come up with what you want.
It's just showing off to a girl I fancied.
He gave you a boost over it.
Exactly. From behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you know how you met Dave. We need some other stuff for your character. Their rich background, or their rich backstory, as the game says, including their history with Dave. But I feel that's in jest, and we're just going to kind of come up with that over the course of the game. So for now, write down the name of your character. Write down how you know Dave.
Yes.
Which is obviously very important. You will then need space for your occupation, your skills, and your luck. I will quickly go over what all of these mean in game. Your occupation is your job. It's how you make a living. So standard small town. To be fair, you could commute to the big town if you want. Occupations such as retail clerk, lawyer, florist, teacher, call centre worker or plumber. Your skills are for things that aren't covered by your occupation. So the example that the game gives is you may be a lawyer who's really into building model planes, or a janitor whose true passion is playing guitar. You start the game with 3 skills. And the way attempts at tasks are handled in this game is tasks will come under 3 categories. They'll come under easy, challenging, or difficult. If you attempt an easy task, you succeed. If you attempt a challenging task, we see whether you've got an occupation or a skill that would help you. Feel free to question this, bring it up, challenge my call if you think that your occupation would be relevant. If you have a skill that helps you at a challenging task, you will succeed. If you don't have a skill, you flip your coin or roll a dice, and we'll take I forgot what we said now. We said odds fail, even succeed.
Yep.
Just to cut down on the bouncing coins and the flicking and the ting.
Mm-hmm.
And also to make use of those D12s that Ben never gets to use, ever.
That's right. Never get to roll D12, and I love them.
Yes. If
Can't
you...
play Apogee.
If, however, you attempt a difficult task, you can only attempt that if you have a skill. So if you have a skill or your occupation relates to this task, you get the chance to flip a coin, roll a dice. If you don't, then you fail, basically.
Okay.
The last thing on your... We'll go back and we'll cover those in a sec, but the last thing I want to touch on your character sheet will be luck. Your luck starts at 1, and I can reward you with more luck when you do awesome things or tell me awesome stories about you and Dave. The way you can spend your luck is you can spend 1 luck point and you can knock the difficulty of the challenge down. So if you've got a difficult challenge and you spend a luck point, then it's the same test as would be for a challenging task.
Understood.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There is a handy little table, which I probably should have sent of you in the game. So if it's easy, you always succeed. If you've got a challenging task and you have a skill, you succeed. If you don't have a skill and you spend a luck point, you will succeed. But if you don't have a skill and you don't spend a luck point, you flip the coin, roll the dice.
I like it. Sounds straightforward enough.
Yeah.
I think so.
Got it.
So. Occupations.
Yes, occupation.
Sorry, go on. No. Go on. Questions. If you've got any questions.
Well, I have an occupation.
Cool.
The character's name, I'm working on the basis that we probably don't have the opportunity to have name NPCs in this stream. So I'm going to basically embrace the madness that is the NPC naming on our regular stream and call my character Tim Chappell.
That's perfect. We probably should have communicated, or I certainly should have done a little bit about this. I'm happy for people to name NPCs if they want to throw them out there. I don't know how many NPCs there are going to be. Who knows? If not, they could carry over to Traveller. I'm sure Ben would be okay with that.
And because Tim Chappell is a Tim, I feel he should probably be a bartender.
Oh, nice.
It's tradition.
It is tradition.
All the Tims work in that sort of role.
Exactly. You know, it's a small town. It's unlikely it's got a grand hotel for him to be in the lobby of, but a bartender seems plausible, I reckon.
Perfect. Sparrow, have you got a name and an occupation?
Cody Hodgson, which is spelled Hodson.
Cody Hodgson. Nice. Hodgson.
Spelled Hodson. He is a mechanic.
Okay.
Perfect.
I don't know. Is that called him in England? Is there some other name?
No, mechanic kind of works. I think that covers. Yeah, covers how it would work over here. Luke, who have we got?
Nigel M. Spatchcock.
Good call.
Nigel M.
M for mother. That's not his mother's not his middle name, but
Nigel Mother Spatchcock. And what's their occupation?
He's a gardener and groundskeeper at the local church.
gardener. Oh no, I should have known.
The
How did I
natural
not?
enemy of humanity.
How did I not see this coming?
That's why he misses Dave so much, because Dave actually cared about him.
We're going to be betrayed and mulched.
I need to keep my eye on you, I feel, Tim.
I'm admiring the restraint we all exercised in not individually coming up with the idea we should all be Dave.
Yeah, definitely. And 3 skills for each of you. If
Okay,
anyone's
well,
ready to go, just
Socks
fire them
has
away.
told me that my skills are paper airplanes, barbecue lighting and management, and advanced present wrapping. So those are my skills.
Are you sure you want to go? I mean, these things could come up. They are transferable skills.
I hope they do.
So advanced present wrapping, I would. I don't know. I suppose anything that you're going to use sellotape.
I'll come up with something less silly.
Yeah.
It's just hard because, like, what does he have for hobbies? His job is already so useful.
That is true. That's true. Paper planes, present wrapping.
If I come up with something different by the time you're all done, then we'll talk.
Yeah, no worries. And barbecue lighting. I mean, to be fair, barbecue lighting could transfer to
That
lots
one's
of
a
different
keeper for sure.
fire lighting. Ben, Luke, either of you raring to go?
Well,
Or do you need some time?
no, I
It's all good.
think I've got the sort of basic premise of what I want to go for. I feel that in his spare time, Tim writes Star Wars fan fiction,
Ooh,
and his skills would include limerick writing,
nice.
juggling, naturally,
Mm-hmm.
and I have this this thing in my head. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but I feel he has like a natural gift for body language, semaphore and hand gestures, which will be understood by people. He's just physically expressive, you know.
Okay, yeah. I completely
Yeah, I
get
mean,
what
if
you mean.
seduction is on the list of skills in the game, then body language can definitely be a skill.
He's like a good visual communicator.
Indeed, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I feel juggling, limerick writing, and yes, physical communication. Yes.
He sounds like a bard.
Have you just written a bard, Ben?
I mean, he's a bartender, not a bartender, but you know, I could like an actual bard, not
I
like
hadn't
a
intended
D&D
to,
bard.
but I may have backed myself into something of a bard corner here. Yes.
He's a bar steward, that's for sure.
It's enough bard jokes. Luke. What's your gardener?
Nigel Spatchcock the gardener is fluent in Esperanto.
Good.
He's surprisingly skilled at lockpicking, because he always has to break into the church, you know, when the pastor forgets his keys. And after a childhood obsession with the A-Team and MacGyver, he's actually pretty good at building things out of random things.
Okay. I forget the jerry rigging.
Jerry rigging, that's even better.
Is that the sort of thing we're talking about?
You know,
Yes, I like that.
They
It's
they
also
break
the
after
perfect
one
skill
turn.
set for a sociopathic gardener.
I mean, yeah, it makes perfect sense that we would want to rid the universe of these people, not in Dave land, but in regular Friday Night Traveller land.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Absolutely.
going to switch out present wrapping for stain removal.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
Stain removal.
That'll be handy after we've murdered the gardener.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, you know how Dave saved you from your ex? He's who your ex wound up with.
Then in that case, I pity him, to be honest, because I've been thinking about it, and I've got a story about the ex, and I mean, she's a monster.
Nice, perfect. I'm just making a couple of last minute notes. Is everybody happy with their character?
Well, yes, I think we've embraced the spirit of the game.
I think you certainly have.
Ah,
I think you've all done a tremendous job. You all get 1 luck point as
ooh, thank you.
per starting of the game. On me, you can all have an extra luck point because you've come up with such wonderful characters that are
What a gent.
so close to Baltic Star antics that
Isn't that lovely? Thank you.
I'm thoroughly enjoying them already.
So we won then.
These may get more liberal or less liberal as the evening goes on. I have to be honest.
Depends on how close we get to Dave.
yeah, definitely.
You jealous
definitely.
of Dave?
And as such, we are ready to begin. I've made a couple of rolls whilst you were doing that. Just to
Okay.
down a couple of things. Nothing to worry about, obviously.
Obviously.
You guys have all been quite worried for some time. Dave is a regular about town. He's certainly a regular in your social circles. You all are individually his best friend, as far as you're concerned. And you haven't seen him for a while, actually. It's been a long time for Dave. So we'll join up with the group as Cody, you've just knocked on the apartment of Dave's. Sorry, you knocked on the door of Dave's apartment. You're waiting for a little bit, and you hear the ding of the elevator as both Tim and Nigel, you step out the elevator and find yourself walking in the same direction towards Dave's apartment.
Mhm.
It's quite a nice block of flats, I guess, and you are familiar with where Dave lives. He has a flatmate called Sam, and you're familiar with. You've been to this place many a time before. Lots of parties around Dave's, lots of eclectic parties with varying groups of people around Dave's house. It's not too long. It's probably an awkward amount of time before the door opens, and there stands Sam. You've met Sam before. Sam is if a person could personify the color beige, that would be Sam. Oddly enough, though, not when Dave's around. You get the feeling that Dave living with this guy is kind of Dave broadening his horizons and helping this guy out who acts like, not a crazy out there wild person when Dave's around, but is much more acceptable to social situations when Dave's around. And he opens the door and just says, yes.
Hey man, you seen Dave?
Dave's not here.
Yeah, we were supposed to meet up yesterday. He never showed.
Dave's not here.
Yeah, but do you know where he is?
No. He's got a very blank look on his face. Do you want to come in and wait for him?
When's the last time you saw him?
Yeah, I'll come in, have a sort of subtle look around if I can.
Sure. He'll show you all in through the door if you all want to enter. And as you enter, he looks at you, Cody, and he sort of says, "Well, the last time I saw Dave was what day is it now?"
Wednesday.
I saw Dave 4 days ago. Anyway, don't touch Dave's stuff. And when Dave steps out at a party or goes to pick up pizza for everyone, because that's the kind of guy Dave is, Sam quite often just heads back to his room and waits there until he hears the emphatic sounds of Dave returning. And he just sort of turns his back on you very plainly, not rudely, and just wanders back to his room. and you're left in the apartment. If you want to let him go.
I feel we can probably go and find him again if we need him.
Wow. Sam is something, huh?
Yeah, Sam is. I'm thinking Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I've heard he collects taxidermied otters.
Is this room big enough?
Yeah,
He,
yeah.
just, he finds them in the river and does it himself.
People always think that a squirrel army is a great thing, but then you have to find a place to store it all.
Exactly. He must have the biggest room. Like, I've never been in his room. I'm sure we've all been in Dave's room, hanging
Of
out,
course.
chilling. Yeah, it's quite a small room for such a guy, though. So
Yeah. Since we're still in the sort of common area, right? The sort of living room area.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly Dave's apartment. So Dave's stuff is all around the apartment. He rents out to Sam, so Sam rents the place off him. But they've got a kind of. It's not symbiotic at all. That's what I was going to say, but it's not like that at all. Sam rents off him, and Sam's a nice guy, but he's not got much going on in his life apart from Dave. So you are in the communal area as such.
Okay.
But
Well, I'd
mostly
like
Dave.
to have a sort of poke around, see if I can find a piece of paper with an appointment on it, something that says he's got a medical appointment, or anything that stands out.
I'm gonna call Dave's phone.
Good plan.
That is a good plan. Are you calling from your phone, or are you calling from the flat phone?
From my phone. Just take it out of my back pocket.
Okay, cool. That is not a challenging task whatsoever. That is very easy. You take your phone out of your pocket and you dial Dave. You've all got his number.
Yeah.
He's your best friend.
Mhm.
All of
Absolutely.
you individually.
Yeah, I don't know who these guys really are, but it's all right. Dave's
You
my
guys
friend.
are familiar with each other. It's a small town. You've all been to Dave's parties at
Sure.
some point or another. There would have been some crossover, so you know who you all are, basically, or you know of as the other people. You pick up your phone, you ring, and it just carries on ringing, and eventually you get the familiar answer phone message of Dave, and Dave says, "Hey, it's Dave. I'm probably busy right now, being awesome. Leave me a message, and I'll get back to you. Have a nice day."
If that was anyone else, guys, that left that sort of message, you'd think that he's such a jerk. But Dave's telling the truth.
Oh,
the
yeah,
kind of
That's
guy
my
he
answer
is.
phone message.
Yeah, you know. He really wants you to have a nice day.
Oh, and he really is being awesome.
Oh.
Cody leaves a message like, "Oh, hey man, didn't catch up with you yesterday. I'm here with Tim and shit. What's the other name?
Nigel.
Nigel. I'm here with Tim and Nigel at your place. Where you at? Getting worried about you. Just hang up.
Okay, cool.
Actually, that is
I don't
good.
need to leave my name. He knows who I am. We're best friends.
Tim!
Yeah,
We've got
he'll-
Tim. We
he'll
can
recognise
Tim.
your voice.
Tim, where are you? Tim.
Tim.
We still get a good Timming on a Saturday. Wonderful.
Cool, perfect. And sorry, my apologies, Tim. We've just been using your name. You're looking around for scraps of paper, notes, appointments, the usual sort of stuff.
I am, yes.
I tell you what, if you're wanting to find something, which obviously you are, we're going to say this is probably a challenging thing to find in this room. It's not messy as such, but it's not, there's not like a desk where he keeps his stuff. There's not a calendar up on the wall. It's there's nothing obvious in plain sight. So feel free to make the argument that you have something that will help you to automatically succeed this, but if you don't, it will be a roll or a flip of the coin.
Well, I would make the argument actually on the basis of being a bartender. I am very used to the chaos left behind by groups of people. spotting it, picking it up, policing it, and identifying whether or not I need to chase them and give it back to them.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that. This is kind of, there hasn't been a party recently, but it kind of still looks like, there's odds and bits and pieces knocking around from a party, and that's your kind of scene, I guess. Yeah, sure. Let's go for that. So, a couple of things. Sorry, I'm just consulting a couple of little notes I made while you were making some characters.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of things happen. You do in fact find a pad of post-its that is magneted to the fridge in classic form, even though they're post-its. Presumably, Dave will rip one off and stick it to something. But the top post-it says, "Need milk, need bread." It looks like it's a list of shopping things for presumably Dave to pick up. Sam doesn't seem like the kind of person who's going to go out and do the weekly shop. But it's left on the fridge. You do notice that their house phone, there's a little red light blinking on the phone. It looks like they've got a message.
Okay. Any chance I can find a pencil?
Oh, I was going to do that, Tim. Good call.
Yeah, sure. That's easy enough. There's one sat on the coffee table.
All right.
Next to a few books, a few magazines.
I'm gonna just dent the tip of the pencil against some convenient sort of surface top first, then hold it gently on one side and just rub it over the top of that post-it pad and see if I can find out what was written on the preceding page that's now missing.
Oh, sure. Okay, cool. Go ahead and make a roll for me, or make an argument, just to see how dexterous you are. I suppose we're going for with this.
Well,
there is
not
a
only do I
certain
have some
amount.
writing skills, I'm also a talented juggler.
Yeah, that is true.
I feel I've got pretty good finger control.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I feel as though I'm being far too liberal with these.
You are probably being wildly too
well.
generous, but we're telling a story.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, this isn't really even scene one. This is sort of just getting you there. Yeah, cool. So you sit down on the sofa. Where do you want to do this?
I will probably not sit down to do it. I'll rest it on a countertop somewhere and lean over it.
Okay.
Where the light's nice and good.
And the other two guys, are you watching? Are you looking for anything else?
Cody's gonna go check out the bathroom and see what's missing. See if he left.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's gonna look for, and because he does have the skill of stain removal, he's gonna just sort of be casually looking around to see if there's any like unusual stains. I mean, just make sure he's not like a quick back of the mind check to make sure there's not like blood or something around. Because Sam's a little,
Yeah, sure. I get it.
Yeah, filthy apartment except for one corner, which is completely drenched in bleach. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
But first, the bathroom.
So as you're walking into the bathroom, Sam comes out of his room actually, and he looks to the three of you, and he says, "I'm just off out. I've got to do something. I'll be back in an hour if you're still here. But if not, you know where the spare key is. Just look up behind you and post it through the letterbox."
Thanks.
And you guys know that they keep a spare key underneath the doormat.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to leave and walks out and leaves. You go into the bathroom. There, I mean, there's no.
I'm really suspicious of Sam now.
I tell you what. You can make for me. You've got stain removal. I would say if you want to find anything truly microscopic and meaningful, this would be a difficult challenge. So you can go ahead and roll or flip.
Okay, but like his deodorant's still on the counter.
Yeah. As you walk in, you get the obvious thing. There are 2 toothbrushes in the bathroom.
Okay.
There's 2 types of toothpaste. Dave and Sam, funnily enough, use different toothpaste.
Fair.
And his, deodorant's still there. There's still a razor there. It doesn't look like he packed up and left.
Okay, I got a 2, which is a success.
Perfect. So you are quite meticulous in your
cleaning eye on.
Yeah, exactly. In your appraisal of the bathroom and its cleanliness, there is nothing out of the ordinary that you would expect to see. It's, to be fair, it doesn't look like it's been cleaned in probably about 4.5 days, 5 days. You could probably assume from that Dave does most of the cleaning because he's just a nice guy. But nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'll come back out of the room and say, well, I don't think he planned a trip.
Nigel, where have you been? Well, all this has been going on.
Well, I'm drawn, of course, to the blinking answer phone. Like
classic Nigel. He's
classic
basically part moth.
Exactly, John, like a moth to the blinking light. I keep getting closer and then away again, then closer, then away again. I just can't help myself. It's strange because Sam's been here all this time and he's not pressed the button. So let's. I'm interested, and I will press the button on the answer phone.
Okay, cool, perfect. You press the button and it says, it comes up with a recorded message. It just says, answering service for telephone number, and it lists off Dave's landline number, which I'm not going to do because I haven't made one up. Please enter passcode.
What's his birthday?
It was best not to give out his number for security reasons anyway.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, well done. You don't know who's watching. No, exactly.
We will give out his passcode though if you get it.
Passcode. If I was Dave, where would I keep a passcode? I'm going to head towards his.
On the phone.
Oh, yeah. So, is there anything on the phone, under the phone, around the phone, next to the phone? Look around the phone.
Did you pick the phone up?
Carefully.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Underneath it.
There's nothing obvious on the phone. It's not. If you want to do a really thorough investigation, you can make a difficult roll for me. You could spend a luck and make it a challenging roll as well.
A code would be obvious.
Try 1286.
Try what one?
1286.
1286.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. I hope it doesn't lock us out. So I'll pick
it up. That's his birth month and year.
I'll pick it up again and I'll sort of wait for it to dial through, and then I'll try his birth month and year, 1286.
You type in 1286, and there's a bit of a wait, and it then just cuts off. There's no message being played, but it appears as though you've got the wrong code.
I'm gonna head to his room to have a look around. Cody, you coming? Should we see if we can find anything in there? We'll leave Tim to his pencil-based shenanigans. The man with the skillful fingers. We'll let him do his work.
Okay, perfect. As you guys go off into the room, it is about this time that Tim is finished colouring over the post-it, trying to get the information from the last last note that was written there, and there is a. Sorry, just quickly, my lack of poor planning. You very much can see the last note. The last note starts off with there's a bit of a scribbled word. You know Dave's handwriting. Sometimes it can be a bit hit and miss. So there is a scribbled word that looks like it definitely starts with a V and it ends in an E. It's got a question mark after it, and then the middle is just sort of like a series of squiggles. And then underneath that, very clearly printed in block capitals, is McGallan's Mill.
Venue.
McGallan's Mill.
And then after that, there's a sort of scribbled word, slightly longer than the first word, that begins with, definitely begins with a capital T. It's got a couple of other tool letters in it. You can make that out.
Mm-hmm.
Twaddle.
It's all twaddle.
Tallahassee.
So V something E with a question mark, McGallan's Mill, and then something beginning with a T.
Yeah, it's a bit longer than a V something E, but it begins in E, V, it ends in E. It's a question mark.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean V one letter E. I meant V some stuff E. Yeah.
We've had this problem recently, haven't we? Yes.
Okay. I feel we have a good clue, but not enough information yet to know exactly what we're doing. So, we have a location at least, and the meanings of the other bits may become clearer when we sort of end up taking a look there. Which I'm planning to do. But before I do that, I'm going to sort of poke my nose into where the others are and see how they're getting on.
Wonderful. As you stick your head around, and indeed as Cody and Nigel walk in to Dave's bedroom is, I mean, you've seen it through the door, but you've never actually been in Dave's bedroom. Very few people, even at parties, will go into Dave's bedroom. It might be used as a coat store, but it is like home base for awesomeness. It's every kind of collection that you could possibly imagine that a cool humble person would keep is sprued across his shelves. There's posters from all the cool bands, but like every cool band from every genre of music that has ever existed, around his room, and it's quite tidy. There's a desk in the corner. There's a bedside table with an alarm clock on it, and a bed.
Yeah.
What in particular were you guys going to do in there? There's a walk-in wardrobe at the end, and that's about it.
Oh, we can. I want to wear Dave's trousers.
I mean, I just kind of wanted to see this place.
That's the only reason you came along.
It's
like going to Mecca or something.
Yeah.
We can walk around it for a day.
And this is one of those moments where you have to feel slightly sorry for Dave because he's so humble. He doesn't have the opportunity to line his bedroom with posters of Dave, which is so sad for him.
Mine are all hand drawn though. It's hard to get official posters of Dave.
Yeah, well, the imagination fills in the blanks.
It certainly does. It certainly does.
I'll have a poke in the wardrobe if we're sort of splitting up and doing tasks in here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool. And the other two, because you would have had a couple of minutes before Tim joined you. Is there anything that you would go straight to in those few minutes, or are you just taking in the ambience?
Has the desk got drawers in it, or is it just the desk?
It's got one drawer at the top and then a shelf underneath, like a hollowed out and a shelf.
Can I snoop in? Can I snoop in those areas, please?
Yeah, sure. So you look. This is pretty easy. You're not under any pressure. There's nothing particularly exciting about these things. You see an alarm clock on top. There's a little lamp on the bedside table. You open the drawer and it's full of batteries. There's lots of packs of batteries, like not unopened but clearly unused batteries. There's a few cables, some chargers, the usual sort of stuff. And he's got a couple of like pop figures on the shelves.
Okay, so he's got a man drawer, as they call it.
Yeah, essentially.
Batteries, but nothing. Oh, don't say that, Fids. That's upsetting.
It looks as though he's got a list of names as well. You recognise some of these names as general people, and then when you look to the side, it's got like the corresponding type of charger cable. Presumably, Dave is such an awesome guy that he keeps a list of people that come to his parties and what charger they need when they need the charger. So if anyone needs their phone charging at Dave's party, he can just go straight to the drawer, consult the list, and come back with the correct charger.
Wow.
That's really cool or really creepy. One of the
But
Nigel would definitely see it as a very cool thing.
Yeah. As far as Tim's concerned, that is the coolest thing ever. But Ben's got questions.
Tim, Cody, look at this. Our names are on this list with what phone we've got and what charger we need. What a guy. Look at all these batteries, all different sizes, all the makes and types.
Wow.
I wish I had this many batteries.
I wish I was. I wish I was such a great guy. Like, I barely even keep my phone charged. And here he is. He's just prepared for his, slightly more best friends than I thought he had. But he's a great guy.
I bet none of us even know the phone charger that he has, let alone anyone else's.
Do you know everybody on this list? Are there any names we don't know? Because we know a lot of people.
I mean, it's not a massive list. It's it's a small town list. Yeah. You probably have heard of everybody on that list, if not directly met them, but you wouldn't have met everyone per se.
What kind of drama has Dave got going on in his periphery right now? What are we gossiping about near Dave? In Dave's social proximity.
Dave doesn't have any drama. Personally, he's such a laid back, nice guy.
Way back, Tim was having some girlfriend trouble, and like, is anybody new confiding in him? Like,
I would say no. I would say there's nobody new. Everyone kind of likes Dave anyway. It's he'd be hard pressed to find somebody new in the town who hadn't already had got a relationship with him, or some form of confidence with him, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So Cody and the team kind of check through this room. I'm going to assume that there's nothing missing.
Sorry, just quickly. There's nothing obvious missing. There's been three of the the large, chunky round batteries. I forget what type they are.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like the C's or something along those lines?
Like this proper full-size torch battery kind of things.
Yeah. There's three of those missing from a pack. There's about 6 AA, like regular batteries missing from a pack of, what do they come in? Packets of 12, and you get like 6 extra free. So there's some batteries missing, but there's nothing particularly obvious. The alarm clock's still there, the lamp's still on the bedside table, all his clothes are in. Actually, we'll get to that in a minute. But everything looks, looks about right. You swing open the wardrobe and all his clothes are still in there.
Oh, Dave's clothes. I breathe in deeply. They still smell of him and his favourite detergent. Has he got a list of all our favourite detergents?
Not that you've come across so far in his room.
He always knew in his head, though.
There is, as you smell his clothes, there is a rich, warm scent of sort of like
Dave.
cedar and spices, and it's kind of a manly scent, but nothing too overpowering. It's quite subtle.
I could stay with these all day, but we need to find Dave, guys. We need to find Dave. There's nothing here.
Sorry, go on.
No, it's all right. No, I was just rambling out to the end of my sentence. There's nothing here that I've found yet.
So, knowing Dave as well as I do, his very best friend, after all.
Yes.
All
of you.
There are a couple of things that I might know that he has, and I'm wondering if I can find them here, or whether he took them with him, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, do I know if Dave has a camera?
You've not seen Dave with a camera other than his camera phone.
Okay.
So nothing like, professional level. He hasn't got a SLR set in the cupboard.
Fair enough. How about a laptop?
He does have a laptop. Yeah, he quite often plugs it into or connects it Bluetooth to one of those speakers in the kitchen so that he can provide music for the party. Obviously through an online service. You do remember seeing it sat on the coffee table.
Okay. All right. And obviously, we haven't seen his phone. It's not just that it's run out of power and therefore we can't hear it when it tries to ring, so to speak. We haven't bumped into his phone yet.
No. And it is definitely when Cody rang it rang. I mean, Cody would know this. You guys may know if he told you, sorry. But it definitely rang through. It didn't just cut off straight away when you tried to dial the number. So there is battery on the phone.
Okay. Right.
Which it seems a little bit odd, 4 days ago you went missing, but was.
Of course, Dave would have a super strong battery in his phone.
It's 3 times the width of the phone.
Yeah.
It actually is a brick.
Or a power bank, maybe. He's got something going on. He's always contactable.
Well, the other thing I'd like to know then is, I mean, knowing him as I do, is Dave the kind of person who has a pair of decent quality walking boots or something like that, proper outdoorman type of boot?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, that's pretty much all Dave wears on his feet, aside from going to the beach and the odd other trip. That's his go-to.
Okay, that's a shame. That is unfortunate. Okay, those are the things that I was immediately thinking might be useful clues.
Check his pockets.
Yeah.
Not my pockets, Tim. Hands off.
I feel that if I could find his pockets, I'd find him attached to them. Because I think it's worth a try, but it's relatively unlikely he'd put coats and clothes back in his wardrobe with things still in the pocket. But we'll give it a punt. I'm more tempted to sort of look under the bed or pull the bed back from the wall and see if there's something behind the headboard, that kind of thing. Because I'm starting to think there is a chance that he's been deliberately hiding something from Sam.
Oh, I see. Okay, which one do you want to do first?
Since I'm sort of at the wardrobe, I'll start there.
Okay, perfect. So you swing open the wardrobe, and there is a varying assortment of Dave's clothes, his band t-shirts, a few pairs of jeans, some general work clothes, some coats, like a couple of long coats and a couple of walking jacket type coats hang up on the very, very end. And you see underneath the t-shirts there's also a safe.
A safe with a combination lock or a safe with a key?
Neither. It's a safe with a keypad.
Okay. I'm
Don't touch it.
right in assuming I don't actually know the combination to the safe.
Not off the top of your head, you wouldn't know it. Do you want to investigate the safe?
I would very much like to. Yes, please.
Wonderful. If you could make for me I would call this a challenging task. You can obviously spend a luck, or you can argue for some skills to automatically succeed it, but depending on what you're looking for.
I honestly can't think of a way that my skills could do it. So if it's got to be a challenge, that means it's on a roll, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can either roll or you can spend a luck to make it an easy task.
I think this might be sufficiently important that I'm going to throw away a luck point on it, please.
Okay, perfect. So you use up your point of luck and it becomes an easy task, which you automatically succeed. A couple of things about the safe. The keypad on the safe is darked out, but you push a button and it lights up, and there's 4 little blinky underscores shown on the dimly lit green display. Looking around the safe, it looks pretty old. It doesn't look that secure. It's quite small. It's about yay big. Probably for keeping a few important things to Dave in. Battery powered. You can, it's not plugged in, it's not wired in anyway. You can sort of lift the corner off of each end at a time, and you can see there's no wires running in underneath. So,
yeah,
I mean, perhaps that's what some of the batteries are for. But you can also, with a success, you can also note that there are a couple of numbers on the keypad that have been used a lot more than other numbers.
Oh,
okay.
So running through them, they start low to high. It's typical 1 to 9, and then a 0 underneath. The 2, the 3, and the 8 have been used more regularly than the rest of them.
Oh,
2,
good.
3, and 8.
Go 3283. I've got a sense there's just some juju in the air.
Mm-hmm.
A general
3, 2,
vibe. I
8,
don't know where it
3.
came from. Just a moment of it comes back from my lock picking days, guys.
Lockpicking.
Okay, I will take the hint.
It's
and
one of my
try
skills.
3, 2, 8, 3.
Wow. You type in 3283, and you hear a little scaling bleep. It just and the green backlight of the display turns blue.
And it opens?
Yeah,
Or it just makes the colour change?
If you now try the handle now lifts up, whereas before it was sort of locked in place. The handle lifts up, and the door appears to be free to open. You open the safe, I assume.
Yes, I'll pull it open and take a look inside, please.
Wonderful. You open the safe, and there appears to be a few documents inside. There's Dave's passport. There is like his details for his online banking. Like a letter he's received with his customer number, and one of those little things where you put your card in to identify yourself.
Yep.
There's a little bit of cash in notes, not a huge amount, but sort of like a rainy day fund by the looks of things.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
Sort of your general stuff that you would find lying around.
Okay.
Nigel was going to take a tenner out of his own pocket and add it to the pile. What a guy! I want to add to his rainy day fund.
Absolutely.
I
It's
feel
good
bad.
of you, Nigel. It's no Dave, but it's good of you.
It's good.
No,
I'm
I
trying to
approve
be more Dave. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Well, having got a 4-digit number, I think it's worth trying that on the phone.
That's good. I'll scamper off to the phone. Why don't you guys flick through his passport and things like that, see if there's anything of interest.
Cool.
So Nigel will run through and try the same code out on the answer phone if it lets me do it again and hasn't locked me out.
So what's that you found in the kitchen, Tim?
What I found in the kitchen, the only thing of note was this little bit of Post-it, which contained some information. One properly written name that I caught, McGallan's Mill, and two partially obscured things, one beginning with a V and ending with an E and a question mark, and the other beginning with a T and becoming illegible after that.
McGallan's Mill. What's that? Is that new place?
It's a good question. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before, but I can't place it.
Oh yeah, Cody will take his phone out and Google.
Cool.
Perfect. That's easy enough to do. You put in McGallan's Mill and the name of your hometown. Quickly, between the three of you, what is the name of your hometown? The small town that we are currently in, not necessarily your hometown.
Western Chardenville town, little Hampton.
Western Chardenville town?
Yeah, I don't know. Western Chardenville town. Yeah.
I don't even know how to argue with that. Because all of the familiar town names that I have are actual British place names in Maine.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean...
Hey, Ali.
Hey,
Hi, Ali. Yeah, it feels somehow unlikely that we would top that town name at any point.
However, how Fitz put it in the chat is how I want it spelled, if that's okay. Western Chardenville I like Denton at the end. Western Chardenville
That is
Denton.
good.
Yeah, do that.
Western Chardenville Denton. Western Chardenville Denton, yeah.
Let me just write this down in case it comes up, because I know I'm going to want it later and I'm not going to have it written down.
Yeah.
And there's no way I'm going to be able to remember that.
We're going to refer back to
Western Chardenville Denton?
Yeah.
Yes, Western Chardenville Denton.
Okay.
It's just known as Shardy by the locals.
Yeah, it is.
And we're Shardies if we live here, so
it's very important to pronounce the D very carefully.
yeah, exactly.
Perfect. So you type that into your phone, and the first few results that come up are like local news pages with some articles that sort of pop up, and it's all about old abandoned mill outside of town, hotspot for kids hanging out at night, crime, and then you scroll through it a little bit later, and there's some, police react and install some security cameras at local mill, cuts down on crime. There's a few reports of homeless people hanging around that general area. That's kind of all you get. There's a website, but it's a really old website that looks like this used to be a visitor centre at one point for an old flour mill. Where they used to, show people how they used to make flour.
We got to be careful when we go to this place, because we're going to this place.
But it is now old and abandoned.
Because it was a flour mill, so let's not light anything on fire there.
Yeah, absolutely. You can make a hell of a bomb out of a flour mill.
Yeah, but I think this is a good place to start to look. I'm not sure what the V ends with E is or the T thing, but I mean, McGallan's Mill's easy enough to check out.
Yep.
And
we have access to transport.
Pick up some sandwiches, head on out there.
Oh, I like the idea of making
time
some
to raid
sandwiches.
the fridge.
Yes.
So with that in mind, I'm going to go over and start pulling things out of the fridge if there's any food in there. And while there, I'm going to subtly, keep an eye on what's in the fridge in case there's something of interest. Looking for things like expiry dates, because Dave's the kind of guy who keep on top of that shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it would all be properly, rotated in the right order. Any fresh stuff would be right at the back of the fridge. Before you get there, though, on on your way out of the door, as you're walking back towards the living area in the general direction of the kitchen, you hear a key in the lock, and the door opens, and Sam walks in and just says, "You're still here." And he's got what looks like not a massive sack, but he's got a bag of some kind of powder under one arm, and he's got a large, like the antifreeze sort of size containers, like the bulk antifreeze type things. He's got a liquid container in his other hand, and he just says, "Is Dave here?" Looks around, and as he's saying this, he carries on walking into his room.
Okay. Any chance I can sort of interrupt him and have a quick word with him as he goes by?
You can definitely try. If you try and call his attention, he'll sort of look over. He'll pause for a minute and look over.
Okay.
In your general direction.
There are a couple of things I want to try. While I'm talking to him, I'd like to see if I can identify any markings on the bag and the bottle.
Yeah, sure.
As a bartender, this is something I've got to be really skilled at, spotting what people are carrying.
Yeah, I would say so. You're a reasonable distance away, and the labels are reasonably small. I would say this is difficult, but you've got a chance because you are a bartender. Okay. So it will be a roll. You could spend a luck, but I think you're out of luck.
No, I have one left.
Oh, of course you do. You could spend a luck and make it an automatic success, or you could not.
I'm going to do that because I need to focus on the thing I'm going to be asking him at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
So I'm going to do that and make it an automatic success. And at the same time, I'm going to ask him why he hasn't listened to the message on the answer machine, because it could be from Dave.
Yeah, sure. Perfect. I instantly regret giving you extra points of luck for coming up with awesome characters.
we gotta get
oh, that's not for me to regret. Yeah.
Let's just consider it. Just consider it a push.
Yeah.
To get us to the next place.
He looks over at you and he says, "It's not my phone." Very deadpan. The living embodiment of beige. That is Sam. He doesn't give much away. That's Dave's phone. It's Dave's message. This is my phone. And he pulls a phone out of his pocket and shows it and puts it back in his pocket. As he's doing so, you can clearly see that the bottle is labelled tanning solution, and the powder has a label on it that's borax.
The powder is borax?
Yeah.
Really? Excellent, thank you.
And he wanders back off into his room in a completely non-creepy way, obviously.
A completely non-creepy way, carrying an enormous bag of borax. Yes.
Yeah, it's not enormous, but it's big enough.
Hasn't that been like banned in the UK or something?
It's probably best known in the UK for a bit of rhyming slang that goes with it.
Oh, tell us more.
I'm unfamiliar with that, but
it's a British expression, so it's possible that our guest will not know this, but there's a British expression for being out of money called skint.
I've heard that.
Okay, well, it's one of the words that is enshrined in rhyming slang by the sort of Cockneys traditionally, based on the phrase boracic lint, which is like lint infused with borax. And so people use the term to mean out of money. They say, "I'm brassic."
Yeah, that's brassic.
And it's boracic lint rhyming with skint.
I think
it just seems a little more elaborate than it needs to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Hang on, it's used to make slime, isn't it? It's not. Isn't it like the kids' slime stuff?
I think it is actually.
It's used for slime, but it also it's a cleaning booster because it counteracts hard water.
Do you continue over to the fridge?
Yes.
Perfect. Unless you want to continue talking about the uses for these chemicals, you're more than welcome to. If you want to Google stuff,
I think that's
Google
a
away.
distraction at this point. It is
Because I may be completely wrong in what I've assigned them.
No.
I kind of want to know what self-tanner and borax have to do with each other.
It's not. This is definitely not a bottle of. You could see this is obviously not a bottle of self-tanner. It is an industrial sized. Not industrial size. It's a large, sort of like 5 litre bottle of something labelled tanning solution. It's got some warning signs on it. It's not.
Tanning
Sam,
solution.
yeah, sorry, not self tanner. Sam is not very tanned. He's in fact very pasty.
Very beige.
Yeah,
I feel like tanning animal hides.
I'm not feeling that good about beige man having tanning solution, which is yuck. And borax? Is he dissolving a body?
Well, I'm wondering because obviously tanning is done with acids, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He is doing taxidermy. I told you, guys. He's weeing over people, as Fitz says, and then taxidermying them. He's a creepy man. We always knew this guy. Every time we've come over for a party, he's always crept off, hasn't he? Halfway through, sort of rubbing his hands and looking shiftily around.
All right. Well, for Cody's gonna Google combining tanning solution and borax, but before that, he's gonna watch like a quick video that popped up in his YouTube notifications.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just a car repair going over the last a quick look into a new tool that's totally useless and you don't need, but you have to watch the videos. You gotta keep up to date. Of course, you have
to watch the videos. That's the game.
But then he's gonna look up.
I will then leave Cody to do the looking up while I have a poke in the fridge and look at the best before dates.
Yeah, cool, perfect. You head over to the fridge, both to check out the best before dates and to presumably still make yourself some lunch, the three of you. You open up the fridge, there is the usual stuff you would expect to find in the fridge. There's some milk, a packet of sliced ham, some corned beef, a couple of fresh bits of meat, presumably for cooking. I say fresh, uncooked. There's some raw meat in the fridge. You open up the vegetable drawer, and the vegetable drawer is filled with a couple of jars that have got some dead mice in, frankly. But all the dates in the fridge look within date. The milk's it's a long life milk, but it's definitely within date.
Snake. I think he's got a snake. What's his beige boy? He's got a snake. Nigel says he looks over. Says, I know someone that keeps mice. You got to keep them cold. He's definitely got a snake back there.
Oh, well, then that's not really our problem.
No, unless it's a giant snake that eats people.
No, but it raises a possibility, doesn't it? It does raise some suspicions, frankly, about Sam. I'm not wild about Sam as a human being at the moment, but I'm tempted to say we may have run out of things we can do here in the short term. We might have to go to the mill.
Yeah.
Unless that answer phone message reveals something, assuming we get to it using the PIN number.
Yeah, I tried those four PIN numbers. Ewan, does that work at all?
So you pick up the phone, you get the same answering service message asking you to put in your PIN number. You put in 3283, and it says you have one unplayed message. And then list through the various options. To play your message, press 1. To delete your message, press 2.
Well, I don't have as skilled, delicate fingers as There's Tim, of course, but I hope I can press 1 without accidentally pressing 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy enough task.
Okay, that's good.
Your lock-picking skills would mean that you're probably somewhat dexterous.
I
You
am.
press 1 and it comes up with the usual message received Thursday, 2nd of November at 8:23 a.m. And then it proceeds to play a message. There's a rather muffled voice on the message that says, "Dave, it's me. Meet me at the mill tonight. Come alone."
Yeah, that T word was Thursday. That fits. So
That fits.
yeah. So I wonder if V is the person, maybe. Like they were trying to work out. It's me. Are there many names that start with V and end with E? So that's last Thursday. We're on Wednesday now. So that is a while. That is almost a week ago.
Well,
It fits roughly with the sort of 4-day-ish period that Sam was talking about, I suppose. But it was a while ago.
Yeah, so I guess Sam is taxidermying otters, which is a weird thing. But like, we should get on.
we could sit here and talk about Sam and his strange tastes all we want, but how are you going with those sandwiches, Tim? We need to make sure we're fully stocked up for our trip to Mill.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the makings of my sandwiches, or corned beef if people prefer.
I'm happy with corned beef.
Yeah. And just and you know, throw a sandwich at each person. And then, as far as I'm concerned, we're good to go.
Yeah, I'll drive. Got my car all like.
Just quickly before you go, both Cody and Nigel make a challenging check for me to catch a sandwich midair without it falling apart.
Okie dokie.
Just in case.
What with my lock-picking hands?
I mean, if you want to argue something, you can argue it. Go for it.
Does Esperanto help with the grabbing of sandwiches?
Esperanto was definitely not going to help.
I mean, Tim is a juggler, but I succeeded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've probably thrown them pretty precisely as a skilled juggler.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh.
It's okay. We rolled. It was fun. I succeeded.
And I failed. I sort of fumbled it a little bit in my hands, because I was still putting the phone down with one hand. So I was
yeah. It kind of bounces off your chest a little bit, but you get the general ingredients. There's nothing too messy that's going to, it's still a functional sandwich.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't ask for pickle in mine. I'd have a right messy t-shirt right now.
You'd be in a pickle.
I would be in a pickle.
Yeah. So I'll drive. I just finished upgrading my car, so...
Shotgun.
Okay.
Yes. In the back.
We'll swing into it. It is spotless because detailing cars is his hobby. Unlike my car.
That's what role playing's all about.
Yes.
That's the things that you wish you were real. We can be anything.
I can have anything I want in this game, and what I have is a clean car.
Sometimes we have small dreams, don't we?
He looks in the back seat at a pile of those like pieces of paper you put on the floorboards when people test drive your car. Looks at you, and then he takes his hand back and puts it on the steering wheel, like, not today.
Nigel just starts eating his sandwich in the front, sort of dropping a few crumbs here and there, but
trying not to.
He's a bit aware of it. He's sort of quite good with some, but a couple escape and like go down between his feet. It's like, oh,
yep.
God, is it gone? Oh.
That's why I let you have shotgun. It's easier to clean the front seat.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Very good point.
If only my fingers were more nimble and skilled.
As you start the engine and you start it's about a 40-minute drive. This old mill is outside of your small town. It's not necessarily close by. You've got 40 minutes in which the scene ends effectively in the game rules, and you can all spend these 40 minutes not in real life but in game time telling us a story about Dave. You can either chat to each other in the car and tell your story communally, or you can have a little flashback. It's entirely up to you. But if you could all come up with one retrospective story about you and Dave and some fun times you've had, that'd be wonderful.
Good to go.
Whoever wants to go first, jump in. Have at it.
Okay. Well, you know what? Since we've got a bit of a journey to kill, how about I tell you how I met Dave?
Great. So I'm imagining that you're actually sitting in the middle seat and kind of leaning forward into the gap between the front seats.
Arms either side of the arm wrestling.
You got your like elbows on your knees.
I love it.
Yeah. Sort of hands on the headrests kind of thing. Yeah. So this goes back a few years ago, and I was dating this girl, Daisy, her name was, and it started out. It started out fine, you know. It was a perfectly okay thing. It was going at a reasonable pace, and then she started to want to go a little bit quicker, and she started to get a little bit more controlling, and eventually she started getting angry if I went anywhere without telling her, and yeah, it became a thing I didn't really want anymore. So I told her that was it. We were, we were done, and grabbed my stuff together, went to leave, to discover she'd literally locked the door to the apartment, wouldn't let me out. And she was screaming and whining and what have you. And I sort of took a look out the window, and it was a long way down. And there was a bit of noise coming from her, and I was sort of looking a bit panicked, probably. And Dave was walking past, and he heard the commotion, and he looked up, and he asked if everything was okay, and I started explaining to him the problem. And he, being Dave, he said, "Don't worry about it. Let me talk to her." And I sort of backed away from the window, and I let him, and his voice was sufficiently interesting to her that she stuck her head out, and he started talking to her, and he said, "You've got to open the door." And her voice went really odd and flat, and she said, "I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave."
No.
So after a while, he actually talked her down, and he managed to convince her, and she had a few tears and she had a few moments, but she unlocked the door, and I got to walk out of there, and I've never had to spend time with her again. And Dave checked I was okay. We walked out, we had a drink, and we've been best friends ever since.
Ben.
That's wonderful, Ben. I love it. I'm there for it. The other two might be rolling their eyes, but
yeah. Well, we Dave and I have had. I don't think he's ever rescued me from a girlfriend. I don't have those kind of problems because kind of like to be on my own. You know how it is. But he's just a good guy. It was this one time I was driving someone's car to my garage because I was gonna fix it up for him. Doing a favor. And it broke down on the way, but I'd gone to a party to pick it up, so it was really late. I couldn't just call my bro and have him come tow it. But Dave was just driving by, and I just took your story. I'm sorry, Luke. Let me start over.
It's canon now.
But Dave does like walking. He has got the boots. He walks everywhere.
Yeah, and he just kind of kept me company until battery was dead in my phone. It always is. What do you do?
Not like Dave's phone.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't even know how he holds it. Like, it's probably why he text messages so little, but he leaves the best voicemails.
Mm. Yeah, classic Dave.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He had my favorite chips, too.
Oh.
I don't know how. He was just walking alongside the road with a bag with my favorite chips on them, just when I needed some company.
Yeah, it's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Nice.
What about you?
Nigel sort of turns away, sort of looks down at his most eaten sandwich, and in his mind that the Beach Boys, wouldn't it be nice? And it's sort of playing in his mind as his eyes zone out for a little bit, and he remembers sitting at the beach one day eating a sandwich. It's a what is it? Is in mine again? Ben, what did you put in it again? You put
Corned beef.
Corned beef. There's a corned beef and pickle sandwich, and in his mind it's there, and of course it's a memory, so everything's brighter and sunnier, and people are more beautiful when they're walking past. And he's sitting there with his sandwich, laughing and joking, and sort of in his mind he turns to the side, and Dave's there, also eating a corned beef sandwich, and they're laughing and joking together, and they're hanging out. It's a lovely day, and Nigel is planning to meet up and go somewhere quite important later on, and so he's got sort of a nice top on. You know, it's not smart, but you know, it's a nice event he's going to, and sort of they're laughing and joking, and suddenly he sort of laughs too much, and he looks down and he sees the pickle was spilt all over his top, hence his sort of concerns earlier, and he's shocked, and he remembers in his mind that Dave just stands up and without saying a word just pulls his own top off over his head and just hands it out to Nigel. And in his mind, it's sort of all glistening a bit behind his body, you know, the sun's glinting. And sort of they force it more towards Nigel because Nigel refuses to take it. And then he does, and he sort of takes his own top off and puts this lovely top on. And Dave just puts on the dirty, soiled T-shirt. And he sort of wears it, even though it's soiled, so that Nigel can get to his event. And sort of Nigel's eyes sort of come back again, they decloud, and he turns around to the others and he says, there was this time when he stripped off for me, and just leaves it at that.
Yeah, that sounds like Dave.
That's classic. I love that.
I mean, the kind of guy Dave is, he probably had your mess soiled T-shirt dry cleaned and then returned to you as well.
Yeah, it was back on my front door 2 days later. You know,
yeah.
with a chocolate on top as well.
But that is wonderful. You can all have a point of inspiration because, quite frankly, I love the reference. I love the stealing somebody else's story, and I love the what could be a corned beef or a pickle advert.
It's like,
thank you.
It's what advertising did for Diet Coke. We could do it for pickle.
Yeah, exactly. It could be a John Lewis Christmas advert, but slightly weird.
Yeah. People mind if we took a few minutes break so I can pop to the loo and things?
Yes, definitely. That is perfectly fine. I will quickly, as you finish your story, you are pulling up to the old abandoned mill. It's starting to get a little bit dark. You pull up and you put on the brakes, and the car sort of makes that gravelly, dusty sound as you pull to a stop. Yeah. And you are at the dark abandoned mill. And that is a good place, I guess.
Yeah.
It works.
Okay. Perfect.
Right. Let's take 5 if you need the toilet, a drink, anything else. I'm just gonna sit here and think about Diet Dave for a while. And
yeah. Over the course of getting ready for the stream, I've drank 2 massive cups of tea and a glass and a half of water. So yes,
it's well and truly time for a break. Cool.
Yes,
right. Hang around, everyone. We'll see you back in 5.
Cool.
Close those things off. Let's get the break thing on. There we go. Let's turn our microphones off and put some music on. We'll see you guys in a few. It's on. This goes on. That. Go!
Hello and welcome back to the Boys from the Baltic Star plays Save Dave. Thank you for sticking around if you're still in chat. Thank you for jumping to halfway through the video if you're watching on VOD.
That's what I always do.
Well, you know, depends on the video, but sometimes it feels a bit of a weird one because normally during our Friday night traveller adventures we'd have a toast to dead NPC Greyhill Bass, which isn't happening tonight, but I'll have a drink anyway.
To Dave.
To Dave and his hopeful rescue at some point. When we last left off, you had established at Dave's flat that he had received a voicemail asking from some unknown character, asking to meet him at the old abandoned mill, McGallan's Mill, just outside of town. You took the drive. You reminisced about some old times with Dave, or flashbacked in your head in the case of Nigel, and you arrived at the mill. You all received 1 luck point, so some of you are starting to stock those up.
Yeah, I'm super lucky.
I have a stock of 1.
Possibly for a good time. Some of you have used them on some good roles to succeed in, I feel. But anyway, you pull up to the mill. It is getting dark. It's, you know, it's very dusky kind of feel. The dust screams up behind you. It's not like a paved car park. You pull into this old plot of land, basically, with a weird rickety, half falling apart wooden fence and a dirt gravel type car park. And there is the mill in front of you. It's quite a large, old, traditional flour mill, I suppose, to the best of my knowledge. I rolled randomly on the table, so that's what it looks like. It's kind of dishevelled. One of the blades of the mill is completely missing, but the other three are in, although in somewhat disrepair. And there are those. I don't know whether they have them over your way, Sparrow. I'm assuming so, but traditionally in this country, when buildings get a bit run down and despaired, the council puts up big metal screens over the windows that have been inadvertently smashed with rocks, and they've got little holes in. So they're over the windows, and that is where we pick up as you pull up and presumably shut off the engine and step out the car. Could you all quickly just give us a rundown of, 1, the awesome vehicle that you're driving, and 2, what your characters look like?
Yeah,
Sure. Cody steps out of his Audi A4. It's 4-screen. It's a 2011 though, which is how he has it.
Nice.
He got it used, fixed it up. It had been in like not quite a totaling accident, but enough that the previous owner was like, yeah, nah. And he is wearing the half of the blue canvas pants that go with the button-up shirt that usually has the patch on the front that has your name. So he's just wearing the pants and the suspenders over an undershirt. And he walks around to the back, opens up the trunk, and gets out like a backpack and puts in like a ridiculously like overdone first aid kit in there. And like he can't find a flashlight though. So he looks around for a bit and gets frustrated, but he just kind of like goes with that. Maybe puts the fire extinguisher from his trunk in there and, zips it up, puts it on his back.
Okay.
Nice. And then let's go Tim, because that's the list I've got them written down. Tim, as you step out the car, what does Tim look like?
Tim is not someone who has what you call a particularly strong personal style. He's very, very thin and of reasonably tall height. He's quite pale because he works indoors all the time and late at night. and has a shock of dark hair. But if you know the town well, and especially if you know Dave, you'll have noticed that he's kind of adopted a few of Dave's signature styles. He's sort of bought into the fact that Dave is just cooler than anyone else. So there's a bit of sort of copycatting some of Dave's looks built into him, I think.
Nice. I can definitely feel that. Tim with the touch of Dave.
Oh, I like it. So Nigel gets out. He wipes the crumbs that he's carefully caught on his top onto the floor outside instead, sort of smiling at Cody, hoping for the nod of acceptance.
Oh yeah, he gives him a nod, an appreciative nod, but he's still going to check under the seats later, just in case.
Nigel has got his work boots from his gardening job, of course. Good sturdy work boots. For some reason, he's got judo trousers on. They're very comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
He likes them. They're airy. They're good to move around in. They're thicker than you think, so they're quite sturdy, but very loose and baggy and airy. And he likes that. Likes a bit of air circulating around his nethers when he's got to crouch down and work. He's got a band t-shirt on. It is, and then he's got the his band t-shirt is for Jethro Tull. He doesn't like the music so much. But he loves Jethro Tull because of the seed drill invention, which of course means a lot to him as a gardener. So
yeah.
So he sort of supports the band because of the name connotations. And then he's got a big orangey red puffy body warmer, hooded body warmer. Think a bit Marty McFly or that sort of, it looks a little bit like a life jacket kind of thing. Which it's a bit chilly. It's dusky, isn't it? So he sort of zips it up, pulls the hood up, but of course he's still got bare arms, and not just because they're hairy, but because this. and that's him. That's him. He's got a few tools around, little tools and bits and pieces around his waist and in his pockets from his gardening times.
Yeah, perfect. I thought you were going to say judo trousers and a Judas Priest t-shirt. But Jethro Tull works perfectly for a gardener. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the thing that I was trying to remember that was also going in the backpack was just one of those like rolled up like various screwdriver things.
With all the different attached. Yeah, cool.
Not a complete. It's not like it will fix anything, but it will get you like into an engine to see what's wrong.
Yeah.
A sort of multi-tool kind of thing.
Okay, brilliant. You step out the car. It's a bit of a brisk night. I think I established it was November. I pulled a date out of thin air, to be honest.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means in England.
Yeah, true. It's kind of it can be quite varied actually. It's been quite warm recently. But yeah, it's chilly. Luke, Ben, what's the best approximation in American temperature?
November in the UK is it's like sort of slightly earlier autumn in southern Canada. So sort of October in southern Canada.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's fine.
It can be cold, it can be wet, and it can be windy, but it's usually not massively below freezing.
You can get the mists rolling a little bit in the evening or the morning. A little bit of dew around.
So if you think Great Lakes, you're in the right packet. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you both very much for your wealth of knowledge, which I do not have. You step out and it is reasonably, it's chilly. There's a chill in the air. There's it's getting dusk. There's literally little bats coming out of the woods that sort of half surround the mill, and you could smell. It smells like someone's got a log fire going somewhere.
So November.
Weirdly enough, there's one other car in the car park.
Whose car is it?
Oh.
Is it in fact Dave's car?
Do you go and investigate the car? You walk up to the car. It's it's dark. It's not. You can't see it necessarily from where you parked. Unless you want to park right next to it, you can do if you want.
Can Nigel absent-mindedly tug at the well, not absent-mindedly, but sort of tug at a handle to see if it opens or not?
Yeah, sure. It doesn't open. It's not Dave's car, but as you tug at the handle, suddenly the lights start flashing and an alarm starts going off. Is there anything you guys want to do immediately as this is happening?
Look in the car, given the light now flashing.
Yeah, sure. The inside lights kind of going as well as the headlights and the brake lights for the alarm. It's a car. It's a messy car. There's sort of old takeaway things in the back seat and various cigarette packets lined up on the console in between the passenger seat and the driver's seat. Empty water bottles all over the place. It's a really messy car. It kind of probably rubs you up the wrong way a little bit.
Cody does give a deep sigh and just sort of like, oh, it's not Dave's car. Let's go see what's up. Dave wouldn't do that. I mean, Dave's car isn't as clean as my car, but he respects the space.
Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah. Unless anybody's got anything else to do.
Can I try? I want to try and break in. I've got lock picking. I've got a skill I want to try and use. Is there something I can try, please?
Yeah, perfect. Tim, did you want to do anything first as this alarm goes off?
Oh well, yeah, I figured it's a reasonably dark night, isn't it? But there's a little bit of light around. We can see our hands in front of our faces, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, those very skilled fingers.
I would actually like to. How close is the car to the actual building of the mill?
Excuse me. It's not a terrible distance away. It's in the car park. It's probably there's probably sort of like a 30-yard walk from the edge of the car park to the mill, and this car is parked not right at the break in the fence where the path starts, but it's like 3 spaces over. It's not far away.
So effectively, does the car park have a fence around it, or does the mill have a fence around it, and there's a break where the car park meets it?
The car park has a fence, has like a wooden fence around it. It's a bit broken in other places where there's obviously a break, but there's a path that connects the car park to the mill, presumably where it's where it used to be. Not a tourist attraction, but it tried.
Then I think I'm going to nip into that little path if I can.
Yeah.
And if there is a spot on that path where I can step off to the side and look a bit more discreet, I'll do that and sort of hide along the path and keep an eye on the mill building in case someone comes out of it.
Yeah, you certainly can. As you get to just beyond the car park and the fence, there's actually a big like public information board that says McGallan's Mill. It lists a bit of history on the mill. It's got some graffiti sprayed over it, and again looks very sun-beaten and sort of faded from what you can tell in the dark. There is that as you go through, and then periodically down the path there are sort of like these boulders off to either side of the path. They're not huge enough to hide behind, but if you crouch down, you could kind of blend in, I guess, in this light.
Yeah, I'd like to step far enough off the path that I'm not in the direct line, and maybe just crouch down behind one of the boulders and just keep an eye on the mill, see if anyone comes out of the door and heads down towards the car park.
Okay, cool, perfect.
And if I can do so reasonably subtly, I will try that.
Yeah, it's definitely in this sort of light, in this sort of place, I guess. It's not a busy place to try and blend in, and certainly with the distraction of the flashing lights and the loud alarm, it will be pretty easy for you to wander back into the shadows and not be noticed, obviously, unless someone walks directly behind you. But
yeah, fair enough. I will do that.
Easy enough.
Yep.
Perfect. As as you do that, Cody's been looking in the car, and Tim, you're about to try and pick the lock.
Yes, please.
What with?
What with?
How are
Well,
you going to get into the car, Tim?
well, I told you my tools that I had around. I was very clear to say I had some little tools around me. Is it? I take it still has a key lock hole.
Yeah.
It's not some sort of futuristic Tesla that I have to phone Elon Musk to get into or something like that.
No. I mean, presumably, if it was, you'd already had like a drone strike upon you from setting off the alarm.
Laser straight through my head.
Yeah. No, there is a key. There's a key hole and a handle. There is, in fact, a key on each door. It's quite an old car. It's not, at least the front two doors. No, it's not got centralized locking.
Well, as one of my loved skills is lock picking, and I did say I have to sort of break into the church from time to time when things need getting and the pastor forgets his keys. I'll have my little kit with me, a rudimentary lock picking kit, and I would like to start. I don't have a coat hanger, sadly, so I will start poking around the locks. As I do, I want to call Cody over. Cody, if I can get in here, you're a mechanic, aren't you? Can you sort of shut off the alarm once I get in?
Yeah. Yes, no problem.
Cool. So can I see if I can get in, please?
Yeah, definitely. You've picked church locks before, which, I mean, depending on the church, what's the church like in this town?
Well, there's the church, of course, has a big
Splash it out a bit.
So the church is like a classic village church, I guess. It's the sort of a stone church in the cross formation. The front. You've got the front big doors, which of course have the big wrought iron key. You've got a door to the back, which looks like an old-fashioned arch door, a lot smaller in the little stone surround, but has a more modern Yale lock.
Yeah.
Because they've sort of had to redo the doors. Vandals have kicked it in a number of times. Because vandals kick in the doors of churches, it's disgusting, it's disgraceful. And I've moaned about that a lot on my nights out drinking with the pastor, and he doesn't drink, of course. He has an orange juice, but we've moaned about it a lot. But of course, the vicarage I've had to help him into as well. He's very forgetful. He's quite old now, and that indeed has a Yale lock as well. So I've got a combination of locks. That's sort of right next to the church. The vicarage right next to the church. Main church, graveyard. Vicarage is set into the graveyard. On misty nights, sometimes you can almost swear you can see something out there, but it's just shadows.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So you're familiar with picking those sorts of locks. I would still say this is probably a difficult challenge. There are several fundamental differences between either a big old traditional door or indeed a Yale lock and a car key.
I would like to try and get lucky though if I can. I've been saving it up for moments such as this.
Yeah, you're going to spend a luck point.
Please.
Okay, perfect. So you can spend 1 luck point to make it challenging, and as a challenging task with your lock picking skill, you can automatically succeed.
Oh, hooray! No.
For me. So you fiddle around with your tools, not your coat hanger, which you failed to bring with you.
I would have made it so
understandably so. You're just out looking for Dave. And which door are you trying to pick, passenger or driver's?
No, the driver's side door. Please.
The driver's side door just pops open.
There we go.
Or unlocks, and you can open it if you wish.
And I'll sort of open it and sort of almost offer my, like letting someone through the door before you, sort of pulls it aside and offers it to Cody. Go on, Cody.
Yeah. Cody will just reach down around the steering column, pop open the fuse bit where it's really awkward. Like, he has big hands, and he just hates this. It's his least favorite thing to do, and like pulls out the alarm fuse.
Okay, perfect. I would say with a combination of your mechanic job, that this is easily achievable. You would know how to shut down an alarm on a car. You've probably set off a few alarms working on cars, and just the tricks. The tricks.
You just take the fuse out first thing, and then I never have to worry about it.
Yeah, perfect.
Put it back in. Mostly. I like the guy.
Just stuff it back in.
Yeah, possibly. And the alarm stops, the lights stop flashing. It is once again quiet. Apart from Tim, you can hear behind you from the woods. There's some mumbled voices, and one of them just suddenly says, "It's stopped. It's stopped. I think we're okay." And another one says, "No. I'm gonna go check it out. You guys look around still." And it's it's some way off, but you can sort of pick that bit out of the conversation.
We're not the only ones looking for Dave.
Yeah. Okay.
What's everyone doing at this point?
I'm not really sure why you wanted to be in this car.
Open the glove compartment. People always have interesting things in there. Have a look around, see whose it is, see if there's a connection to Dave. We're looking for Dave, man. Don't forget the goal.
Look around. The alarm's off now.
Anything that can help us.
Yeah, we gotta find him.
Yeah.
He could need medical care.
Oh man, I remember when your dog was really sick. He nursed it for a week. He cradled it like a baby and sang lullabies to it every night.
He spent his whole damn vacation on my dog.
I couldn't believe it.
It was like inspection time, and everyone needed to get their cars done in a hurry. Like, I was making money hand over fist, but I couldn't take any time off. Dave showed up.
Those
my little Pepper, still alive.
And those Instagram photos you took, hundreds of thousands of likes. Blew up. I'm so glad that dog survived. How is Pepper doing, by the way?
He's getting a little creaky, but he's always happy to see his old man when I come home.
That's how we all feel when Dave comes home to us.
Yeah,
we're like Pepper right now. And just starts rifling through things.
Yeah,
with renewed vigor.
We're having this discussion while we're doing things we really shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm just staying hunkered down for the moment, keeping an eye on the path and the building.
Yeah. Cool. The voices are not directly. You're not directly between them and the car, from what you can judge. It's fairly easy to pick up. There's there's a lot of trees to absorb the sound, and it's not bouncing off anything large and rock faced.
Okay. I didn't, for example, see them come out of the building.
No, it was definitely not coming from the building. It appeared to be coming from the woods, sort of off the building, sort of to your side, and the noise was definitely a bit more behind you, not directly behind you, but if you're facing the car, it would be perhaps your 8 o'clock.
Right. Okay. I suppose I'm going to shift my position slightly then, so that as best I can, I'll get my rock between both me and the mill and me and the voices, if possible.
Yeah, that kind of works. And then you kind of hear the end of the conversation. We'll go back to the car very briefly, but you kind of hear the end of these two people talking, and one of them says, "Look, I'm just gonna go check on my car. You guys go off and you carry on asking him." And that's all you hear. Back at the car, it is as I said, it is a messy car. There's a lot of sort of stuff to go through. There's a lot of rubbish. There's a lot of McDonald's bags and Burger King like used bags that just are full of old greasy wrappers and salt and napkins. As you look around the rest of the car, you sort of look down the side, the door recesses, and there's wrappers and bits of paper, but nothing particularly interesting. A couple of water bottles on each side. Presumably they like to keep hydrated, which is always good advice. Do you carry on and go through the glove box? Someone mentioned glove compartment.
Yeah, of course. We need to. There might be clues.
Okay.
It's worth it. It's worth it to find Dave.
Yeah, perfect. You open it up and you find the usual sort of stuff in there. There's the logbook for the car. There's a lighter. There's a weird sort of like pocket knife type multi-tool. And oddly enough, it's probably the one glove compartment in the country that contains a set of gloves. Unless I'm way off,
That's very suspicious.
I'm
A glove compartment that actually has gloves in it.
I'm having the gloves. I'm
If
having
my
the
glove
lighter.
compartment fit gloves, I would have gloves in it. But the driver's manual is like takes up the entire thing.
Yeah, that's true. True. It's quite a spacious. It's an old car though, before they started getting smaller. Well,
God, nice wide glove boxes back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have those. Not that it matters about what we're carrying, but I'm having them. I'm having the gloves. I'm having the lighter. I'm having the tool. It's all good stuff. It could be useful for helping to find Dave, and I'm not.
The looting has begun.
I'm not against looting when it's to help Dave out. Cody,
All right,
don't look at me like that, Cody. It's for the good of the mission.
All right.
Also,
let's
you're a
close this
gardener.
thing up.
Not as if you have ethics.
Exactly.
It is for the good of Dave. Just say, feel free to write those things down if you want to keep a particular track of what you have on you, as well as your gardening tools, and likewise for your mechanics.
My backpack?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, so I've got a car fire extinguisher, not a big one.
I'm happy for you guys to have anything that would be reasonable for your work or for walking around town with.
I will say that as filthy
and we can
as
come
my
back
car
to
is
this if we need
personally,
to.
I do have a car fire extinguisher and a first aid kit that actually is elaborate enough to have sutures in it.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, okay.
Not that I know how to do sutures.
But you've got it.
Are the gloves those sort of leather ones that have the little cutout bit there and a little popper over the top?
Like they are, yeah.
I'm in a 70s film. I'm putting those on straight away.
If you put them on, they're a little bit. They seem quite old. They're quite dried. You know how leather will dry out, and it's not drastic. They don't fall apart on your hands or crack as you move them.
Because his would have been fresh.
But they're stiff. Yeah, Sam would have taken care of that.
I could do this with my fingers in them, and I'm gonna I'm gonna think about being in Bullet or something like that briefly.
Perfect. Yeah, it's about this time, Tim, that you hear some footsteps coming off a distance to your flank, walking towards the mill, certainly in the general direction of the car park.
Okay. Do I reckon my position is good enough to stay stealthy for the moment?
It's hard to say without knowing exactly how far away from you they are. If they're going to pass, you make a challenging roll for me.
Okay.
Unless it's difficult to say whether juggling or visual communication would help you. Yeah. Audible communication might help you pick up sounds, but
yeah, no, I feel.
You can text.
Yeah, it's this is perhaps not something that I can actually realistically skill on, and I don't want to waste my luck at this point. So we'll roll. And it's a failure. It's a 5.
Okay. It's hard to tell, really. It all depends on you. You feel pretty well hidden. You think that if the person was, sort of like 15, 20 foot away, they wouldn't have a clue that you were there as long as you were silent. In this kind of light. But if they walked right past you, you're not completely out of sight.
I'm going to take the chance and stay where I am because I'm within reasonable reach of the mill building and arguably the car as well if I needed to go that way. Yeah. So I'm going to stick where I am and just try and keep my head down. And I'm going to figure that I'm going to take more interest if these voices are splitting up. I'm going to take more interest in the one who would be walking towards the building.
The one coming back towards
Well, there's
you
one
that you're trying to
coming
avoid.
towards the car, allegedly.
Yeah.
And there's another voice, and that voice is either staying where he is, or he's walking towards the mill, or he's going somewhere else. I want to, if possible, try and keep track of where that one goes.
Yeah, cool, perfect. I get you. Okay, that's not particularly difficult. You can hear it sort of fade off into the distance. In fact, there's one other clear voice that you've recognised, and they appear to be talking to somebody else as well, as the voices get fainter.
Okay, fair enough. So potentially at least 3 people, possibly more, but at least 3.
Yeah, that you're aware of, definitely.
Cool. Okay.
Meanwhile, back at the car, you've looted,
Borrowed,
commandeered, liberated, whatever, however you want
I
to
like
phrase
liberated.
it.
I like liberated.
Everything that you've found of use in the car. I mean, there could be use for the other stuff as well. What's your next plan?
Let's get out of this car. Slip the fuse back in. It's been reset. It won't start again.
Yep.
Slam the fuse door shut. Get out of the car. Lock it before we get out, and walk away. Give it a little wipe with the bottom of the shirt where we touched it.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, it's not going to help in the overall filthiness of this thing, but you know,
it'll be suspicious because it's the only clean bit on the car. Like someone's
you
broken into
only,
the car.
You can only help yourself in these things. You know,
Spider Queen, you're right. Yeah, exactly. You got to do every little thing to help.
Yeah, perfect. So you wipe down the fuse, I assume, before you put it back, and you know anything that is obvious that you might have touched.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not worried about the fuse. They're not going to look at the fuse.
Okay, that's cool.
And it's like this big.
I'll remember.
You say that they seem like the sort of people.
They
seem like
I worked on this car.
They seem like the sort. Yeah, actually, yeah. Your fingerprints are probably quite common around the cars in town.
Yeah, this is a small town. I'm the mechanic.
All the cars have your touch to them.
That's true. It's definitely something that you could work with in court.
How many of these cars have you licked?
I'm sure you guys will be fine.
How many of these cars have you licked, Cody, over the last 5 years?
Is that in chat? I have not seen anything about licking cars yet.
Car. It'll come. Don't worry. We'll build it into another chapter. Don't you worry about that.
You know,
flash.
I don't know about licking cars.
One of my flashbacks is going to include it, so I'm lucky. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so we slide out, all cool. Wipe down some things just because they're really gross.
Yeah, perfect. Click down the locks on the inside of the door.
And we're gonna head toward the mill because there's nothing in that car.
Shut the car door.
Yeah, locked.
Shut the car door, locked. As you shut the car door, Tim, you hear the footsteps pick up pace. There's sort of an audible and it sounds like somebody is now jogging back towards the car park. You guys sort of start hearing somebody getting closer. As you make your way, do you still make your way towards the mill?
It's just from what we can tell, are the voices coming from that? Are they coming from a side of a mill direction?
My mistake. You guys don't hear any voices at this point, but you do hear somebody start to jog, I guess. The distant footsteps of somebody moving hurriedly.
It's like the footsteps in my nightmares.
And
you should get away from the car. Let's go.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
And sort of, they sort of grab each other, I guess, and sort of scurry off quite low across. It's not
suspenders. Backpack on.
Yeah, come on, it's not a stony drive. You don't hear that crunch. That's where you run to.
I mean, it's hard. Do you guys want to try and be quiet doing it? Getting away?
It's difficult because of the fire extinguisher in the backpack.
got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
We're quite
I mean, it's only
encumbered
like a
now.
liter, but it does the job if your car's on fire.
You can certainly make both
Well,
you
I'm not
make a
doing anything with the
challenge.
fire extinguisher. I'm just saying it's loud in the backpack.
Yeah.
We're
Both of you
not
make a challenging roll for me just to see how quickly you manage to scamper.
Okay.
Time's a little bit loosey goosey, but we'll
That's a
see what
2.
the dice say.
Which is an even number.
Yeah.
So you're all right.
I know. I switched switched dice, and I'm doing great.
Good choice.
Sense. So for those that are watching, I'm using a coin toss because I can just do that, and it's been a while since I've tossed a coin. For me, the rules say heads is good and tails is a fail, but I'm a big fan of tails, so we're going for tails succeeds and heads fails, and it is a tails, so it's a success.
Perfect. So you both managed to scamper away reasonably quietly whilst the footsteps are some way off in the distance, and you get to a comfortable distance where you feel if anybody was sort of coming in your general direction, you're far enough away in the darkness. You can sort of flank around to the fence post and the sort of overgrown bits of forest that give you enough sort of shade where you feel quite comfortable. Where
and
you
at
are.
this point, Cody kind of gets a good look at Nigel. Kind of like looks over his t-shirt a little bit and like pulls out one of those like Tide sticks and hands it to him and is like, just give yourself a quick once over with this. It'll make the wash easier later.
Not
Good
again.
stain removal skills.
Very good.
Not
Special
again.
skill talent.
I appreciate how you're trying to keep the crumbs out of the car, but now your shirt's suffering. So
It was a nice car. I didn't want to drop the crumbs.
Oh, appreciate that, dude.
And
Yeah.
because corned beef is quite oily, so thank you. And
It was delicious, though, wasn't it?
It was good corned beef.
Tim makes a good sandwich.
A little bit tangy, but it was okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on the turn. I'm a bit worried about these guys. Do you think it might be Sam hunting otters or something for his collection?
I don't know. It seems like Sam was pretty well settled in.
Oh.
Let's find Tim.
Let's find Tim. Keep our heads down.
Let's find Dave.
Yeah. Find Tim and Dave. Oh no, things are getting harder.
Save Tim.
Yeah.
We'll text Tim.
Cody,
Can
we make a deal now, Cody? Can we sort of a pinky promise on it? If we've got to choose between Tim and Dave, we go Dave. Yeah.
Well, that's not what Dave would do, but we're not Dave.
we're not Dave.
Hold out his pinky.
Yes. Okay. I'd expect anyone to do the same for me. Oh.
You guys, you sort of skirt around the car park, making your way back towards the general vicinity that you saw Tim wander off in. As you do, you can sort of see this figure approach the car, very much in that video game kind of is it whenever you're trying to be stealthy and somebody misses you in this sort of a what? And they clearly seem a little bit puzzled by what's going on, but they're checking each door. They even go as far as to walk around to the back of the car and presumably check the boot that it's still locked, and sort of seem quite confused, but happy that nothing nefarious is going on in the general direction. You guys, as this is going on, get back to Tim before the person leaves the car, and you all meet up.
Okay.
See anything?
So I'm going to immediately say there are at least 3 people, maybe 4 or more. They're over in that direction. They sent someone to look at the car, but I don't know what they're doing here. I don't know if they're supposed to be here, but then truthfully, I don't know if we're supposed to be here.
We didn't find anything in their car except a mess.
And we're allowed to be here. It's a public place. We're looking for someone.
Maybe they're looking for him too.
Maybe they're
a popular guy.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, but they're not his best friend. I feel like we've got his best interests at heart.
Yeah. Should we go check in the mill?
Yeah, that's my thought.
Okay.
Uh,
And Cody will actually take the fire extinguisher out at this point if we're going to walk into the mill. Just sort of hold it. In front of
Okay, cool. Yeah.
As we go in, Nigel will sort of pull Tim back a little bit as Cody leads in and sort of whisper to him and say, "Man, I'm glad we found you. It's a bit nerve-wracking. I don't know what's going to happen here. Like, we love Cody, right? But Dave is the main guy. If it's between Cody and Dave, we save Dave, right?
I just don't think that's the way Dave would want it to be.
Yeah, but we're not Dave.
No, but we aspire to be Dave.
No, just say you've passed the test. Well done, and pat his back, and then hurry up and hurry up to Cody and say, we're definitely choosing Dave over Tim.
Perfect. As you approach the door, it is a rather large door, domed out in this essentially wooden structure that is the mill, with these metal grates over all the badly smashed and time-worn windows. The door is large, it's wooden, it's locked, but down in the bottom corner there is a cutout section that's where the floor is quite worn inside. You can see it's presumably and clear the other side, presumably the way that the local youths like to get inside to do whatever it is that local youths do.
Oh yeah, you want to crawl in, or do you want to try to open this door too?
I got the feeling crawling in might be quieter. So maybe we should start with that.
Yeah,
if we can.
Let's see if we can get through. Anybody have a flashlight?
I've only got my phone.
Okay, my battery's almost dead, so.
I feel as though I'd be a bad GM if I didn't point out that you do have a lighter as well that you could use for light.
You want to use
old
a lighter
abandoned flower?
That's by the wooden door.
Disused mill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the lighter.
Well, no, I'm not saying you should. I'm just giving you all your options.
So
the old
inside,
flour mill.
Lighter in the flour
mill. We're made
Did
out
we
of
bring
wood.
a can of hairspray too?
Yeah. Definitely made out of wood.
Are you tired? Are you trying to get us to finish this segment?
No. I'm still good. I've got no issues. I'm just giving you all your options.
Yes.
But you do have phones, obviously, and you do have modern day phones, which quite clearly come with a flashlight function. So
yeah.
It's not...
All right. So who wants to? One of you has better battery on your phone. You want to go first?
I've got 72%. What you got?
Great.
What you got, Tim?
More than that. I don't have that many friends. So I'll
you've got two
crouch
more
down
today.
and head in.
And he has got the most important friend of all, of course.
Dave.
Yeah,
And
Dave.
I'm canonically skinny. It sort of makes sense for me to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend half my day crawling around beer cellars as well.
That's true. He's got the skills for it.
That is true. I wouldn't say it's necessarily... I mean, I've been down in a few beer cellars, but not a huge amount. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a youth-sized. I'm going to be generous to you all. I think you can all make a challenging roll for me to try and squeeze into this gap that is clearly being kicked out by some teenagers to get in.
All right.
To just their size. If you've got a skill, you can argue it with me. I've no issue with that.
Natural 12.
I failed.
Oh, hang on. Oh, wait.
It had to happen eventually.
I also failed. I'm 50-50 now.
Guess you're gonna have to pick
I'll
the
tell you,
lock.
Tim for the win.
Tim hit 12. So Tim, who was going first anyway, gets through. And then whoever is going next, which one of you guys would have gone next?
I'm happy to go next. Not that I'm
Yeah.
going to get through.
Perfect. You sort of get stuck halfway, which is also the reason that Cody fails, obviously, with a
Yeah,
body
like-
in the way.
Cody's only
it
like
becomes
5'8", but
difficult.
he's pretty stocky. So if Nigel can't get through, Cody can't get through.
Nigel's quite buff. He's a gardener, and we all know gardeners are fine physical specimens of men with good
Mhm.
morals and spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Cody's wiry, but he's just broad built. Like he's got brothers who are like a little bulkier because they work at it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Unicronic's in. Hello, Unicronic.
Nigel kind of gets up to his shoulders and is having real trouble getting his shoulders through this gap. You know, he works out a lot, chopping down trees, gardening stuff.
Just come pick the lock. You did a great job with the car.
I can't. I'm stuck.
I'm hopeful rather than confident, but is it a sort of latch type Yale lock sort of thing?
Yes. Yeah.
So in other words, I should be able to twist it and then just pull it open silently.
Right.
Yeah,
Except for moaning from my colleague who's going to get a bit grazed by the wood.
Well, you have got good fingers.
Yeah, from the inside, you're perfectly fine. I mean, it's an old door, and there is still an old lock there, but it looks very rusted and very weather beaten. But clearly, whoever from the council put up these metal covers over the windows clearly put a new lock on it to try and keep the eads out. So it does have the old twist from the inside.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, then I will stand up. Twist the latch and as gently as I can pull the door open while trying not to hit Nigel in the head or scrape him with it too badly.
Yeah, perfect. You can do that, and you certainly can, and the door moves, and Nigel kind of comes part way with you, but eventually with a little bit of force, presumably from your barrel lifting, delivery taking at a bar job, you can easily enough pull the door away from Nigel, who presumably stays there on the floor on all fours, and the door is open.
Excellent. Yeah.
Oh, you guys, I knew you'd look after me.
Well, All right. Let's see what's happening.
Okay, I'm going to take a look around what I can see from just inside the door.
Yeah, perfect. This is where my historical knowledge of flour mills severely runs dry. But you all walk inside, and there is obviously a much larger section on the ground floor than there is part way up. But there is a big stone in the middle. There's the two. The word escapes me. A mechanic should know. There's an axle that one of the top stone is attached to, and sort of a spiraling stairs running around the center of that function. There's what look like old burn.
Are you trying to avoid saying shaft so that Fiddy doesn't click that? Is that the word you don't want to say?
No, I mean I could have perfectly said that word.
That word, yes. You could have said that word, but I didn't say that word.
Say it then.
See, I can say it all I want because it's not sexy when I say it.
I mean, let's be honest. Nothing's sexy when I say it.
Lies.
But there is clearly a large wooden shaft running up the middle of the building, connecting presumably the sails on the outside to the millstone, and there's some spiral stairs which look a bit rough around the edges, very old, very broken. There's also, litter everywhere. There's a lot of graffiti on the inside, and the usual signs that youths have been around. If you want to make a more detailed investigation of the area, you can make a difficult roll for me with any.
The first thing we're going to do is the sensible thing.
If you have a skill that.
Dave, are you there?
Yay, we found him.
I mean, that's a great choice. You call out, Dave, are you there? There's all you hear in response is a scurry across the floor of something, and that's about it.
Okay, well, we have to get that out of the way.
It's worth checking.
Go route one. I like it.
Okay. I mean, I might want to sort of do a detailed examination of this space, but first I'd like to begin by ruling out some more sort of obvious things, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to sort of walk around the outside of the ground floor, just generally making sure there isn't, say, an injured or dead Dave here. Just to see if there's a body lying about, which I suspect I'll be able to spot relatively easily. And then I'd like to have a go climbing up the spiral inside a bit to give me just a different perspective on it and see if anything pops out.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, that is all easy enough. You take a walk around the inside. It's not, massive, but it is a distance. It is a mill. There's a larger stone on the inside. You walk around. There are no obvious bodies. There is a strong smell of. The air in here feels really dry. There is a smell of strong flour. A strong smell of strong flour. Definitely still lingering in the building, and mixed with sort of some stale smoke and sticky alcoholic substance, whatever it is that you drink nowadays, or whenever this is set, I suppose. But there's quite a fragrant mixture of smells in the air. There's nothing obvious as you walk around the ground floor. You make your way over to the stairs. You put your foot on the first step.
Yeah, that doesn't sound ominous. Yes.
Yeah, and there is a loud creak. It sort of bows a little bit in the middle, but it seems okay.
Suddenly thinking again about the climbing the rickety wooden stairs. Not so much because of the danger of them collapsing, but it sounds really noisy. I'm going to back away from the climbing up.
Oh, thanks, guys.
and rejoin the others.
Thanks you. That's really loud. Sorry, I went because it's really, really loud in my ears. I'm so sorry.
Okay, perfect. And you all rejoin on the ground floor. As you rejoin, you hear a bit of a shout coming from outside the building, and somebody yells out in quite a baritone, I suppose, kind of a male voice. You hear someone shout out, we got it. We know where he is. And then some footsteps sort of running around the outside of the building. And the original voice, it's a new voice, but the original voice that Tim heard outside chatting to one of the other people, presumably the person that went over to investigate the car, shouts back, quick, let's go. And you hear some scurrying outside the building.
Can I've not got as far into the building, of course, because I was stuck in the door for half of it, so I guess everyone carried on through. Can I peer sort of around the door to see if I can make out the shapes, I guess, of the people scurrying around?
Yeah, it's still kind of dusky outside, so there's the sky that is visible is still giving off a little bit of light. You peer left and you peer right, and to the right hand side there is a solitary figure standing, and you can sort of see them waving with one arm from the general direction of the woods to the general direction of themselves and the car park.
Oh. What does the figure? Is the figure? Can I make out much of the figure, like what they look like, or is it a shadowy figure?
Not overly so. It's a shadowy figure, somewhat not large, but sort of medium in height and reasonably stocky, rotund.
Nigel will quickly sort of pull his head back inside a bit, and he'll sort of whisper in a stage whisper to the other guys. I think they're calling people from the woods.
Let's ask them if they have seen Dave.
Do you want me to go out there and speak to them?
You want me to?
Should we go together?
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's Nigel and Cody, team Nigel and Cody forever.
Fist bump.
Fist bump. Come on, let's go.
All right, well, yeah, we'll head out the door and we'll just kind of stand framed in it. And Cody will be like, hey, you seen Dave?
Perfect. All three of you heading towards the doorway.
Yeah,
Tim,
I mean, I was in the process of rejoining them, so I'll follow them out. I mean, at this point, though I have suspicions, I don't have any reason to immediately fear random strangers lurking in woods around disused mills. Other than the usual reasons.
Yeah, sure. As you exit the mill, there is one person who is now clearly the same shadowy outline that you noticed before, Nigel, is on their way back to the car, and there are 4 other definite figures that are just passing the mill. And as you come out of the mill and you shout to them, have you seen Dave? They all stop dead in their tracks of rushing, turn over to you, and one of them shouts out, what do you mean, Dave?
Dave, we all know Dave. You seen Dave? He's been missing.
Yeah, of course we know Dave. He's our best friend.
He's our best friend.
What business is it of yours?
First of all, he's our best friend. He's my best friend.
Right, he's my best friend.
Well, technically,
he's my best friend. But to be fair, he's a good friend to these guys as well.
And you hear kind of an echoing chorus from 4 distinct voices saying, "He's my best. No, he's my best friend."
You want to team up?
And the one guy walking back from the car as well. So there's this whoa. First off, he's my best friend, and there's this quite deep.
Yeah, Cody just kind of like draws
voice.
his shoulders back at that, like getting ready. Just kind of looking big to be intimidating, basically. At the first of all, he's my best friend.
Yeah.
Responding to that challenge by looking big.
And you kind of recognize these people. There's as the 2 groups sort of approach, and the one guy coming back from the car mixes in as well. There's 3 guys and 2 girls, and you don't know them by name, but you sort of recognize them as, from your perspective, acquaintances of Dave. They clearly know Dave. But the person who appears to be in charge of this group sort of comes up to you and says, if you're such good friends with Dave, how come you're only getting here now? We've been here looking around for him for ages.
This is not our
first meet up
first
with him
stop.
yesterday.
My apologies, Cody. What did you say?
Oh, I was supposed to meet up with him yesterday. You gotta give people space.
Well, yeah, it might not be your first stop. Presumably you went by his flat as well. And yes, you have to give people space, but not when you're their best friend.
You know what Sam's taxidermy?
And he sort of walks closer towards the group and does the same as you, Cody. Who sort of makes himself look larger. Now I don't know what you're doing here, and I don't even know why you're looking for Dave, frankly. But I would back off if I were you.
Look, can we just calm down for a second here? I'm sure over the time you've known him, Dave has come to think of you as people he met that time. But
there's a bit of an uproar from the group behind him at this point.
Tim's so protective.
They're audibly upset at that remark. But go on.
But we can all agree we actually want to find Dave safe. And if we can help each other do that, that's in Dave's best interests.
Yeah. We find Dave, and then we fight about whose best friend he is.
While they were
Priorities.
saying this, Nigel makes sure his hands with the guy's stolen gloves on are well behind his back. He's not trying to make himself big at all. He's sort of shrinking. Everyone else is like sticking their chests out, and he's just like. Whoa.
At this guy seeing you sort of shrink back, identifies you as the weak link in the party, I suppose, and approaches you and puts his finger in your, not very, it's mildly aggressive, but he's not prodding you. He'll put his finger on your chest, and he'll say, "It might be in the best interest of Dave, but I think we can find him without you. So back off." And he turns around and starts walking away.
We don't seem to be doing that well. We've only been at it for like 10 minutes.
Said? That you're deliberately refusing help that might be in the best interests of Dave, and at the same time you're claiming to be his best friend. You get the dissonance there, right?
The group of the main people sort of pick up at this point. Yeah, he's my best. No, he's my best. No, he's my best friend. And the main guy turns around and says, "We know where he is, or at least we know where he's going." So that makes us one up, I think. And says, "Come on," to the rest of them, and they start walking back towards the car.
We're just going to follow them.
Follow that car.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm torn because part of me thinks we probably should follow them, but part of me thinks these people are clearly morons of the first order.
And it's
so
funny
whatever
you should.
they think they know, they probably don't.
Nigel says extra loud to the other guys. He's like, I guess these 5 clowns are going to squeeze into that clown car.
Good.
While he's sort of throwing the gloves and sort of shoving them into his pocket while they're around.
Yeah. Perfect. It's funny you should mention that, but at this point, or at the point that they're walking away, Cody definitely recognizes the main person from this group as Jamie Drake, who Cody knows from having to work on his car quite frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly not a careful driver. And clearly not the brightest spark in the town.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fits with the picture that you've been getting. He stops as Nigel is saying that, sort of almost to think twice about something, and then carries on walking towards the car.
Okay, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
To my party members, you understand. I'm not shouting these at the retreating herd of galumphing morons.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions.
They're what? Sorry, Tim. Galumphing morons? Did you say?
The first is, if we're going to follow them, we need to make that decision really fast.
Yes, because you've got to jump in that car. Man.
And the second is, are we in a cult?
The cult of Dave?
We're not in a cult.
Are you sure about that? Because those people are like cultists.
We're not in a cult, but we should follow them. Let's go.
Okay.
Hitches his backpack on more securely, adjusts the suspenders. They need to be tightened, but he just hasn't had time. Heads back to his car. He's not waiting.
Yeah. Bundling
shotgun
along behind. Absolutely.
Shotgun.
If we're going to follow them, we've got to go now.
Yep.
Perfect. As you're making this decision, the group all gets into the car. The engine starts up. the lights come on and loud music starts blaring from the car. There's this loud and very persistent bassy sound. Cody would know from working on this car that there is a massive
He never
subwoofer
turns
in
the
the boot.
radio off and he drops it off. Every goddamn time.
Yeah,
Crap, Nickelback.
and it is a Nickelback album that starts blaring out, but with this overwhelming bass that hits you right in the stomach from his prized speaker that he has in the boot. And
I thought that comes in albums. I thought they came in those mixtapes they play in supermarkets.
I mean, chat might correct me here. I might be wrong. But the car starts up, and as you are getting back to your car, there is a tearing sound of tires across this gravel car park, and two headlights, as you turn around to look over your shoulder at them leaving, come straight towards all two. Well, I suppose it depends what side of the car the non-passenger is getting in.
Oh yeah.
Because Nigel, you shotgun. So
I could shotgun. I'm all right.
You've got the car between you. I mean, I'm not saying you're all right, but you've got the car between you and the other car.
I'm all right.
Cody, who's driving, is on the side that the car is approaching.
Routinely, just sort of normal practice. If there's just one person sitting in the back, if it's me, I normally sit behind the passenger.
Yeah,
that's fair. I probably should have brought it up beforehand, but you also have the car between you and the other car. But you can clearly see the lights accelerating towards all three of you and your precious Audi A4.
Yeah. So if they're coming fast enough that I can't get into the car, I'm just gonna have the fire extinguisher is just not that big. It's only like a liter. As if I'm going to throw it into their windshield, and if they come close enough, I will certainly do that thing.
So this is a third vehicle in the car park we're talking about.
No, this is them as they are leaving the car park.
You know what? I'm just gonna throw it because.
Yes, Cody.
Nice. Are you throwing it at the car, at the floor, at the windshield, at the?
If it looks like they're not going to slow down, I'm going to throw it right at the windshield. If they're not going to turn or slow down, if their intention is to injure me, if their apparent intention is to injure me, they're getting a fire extinguisher in the windshield.
Okay, as they get a bit closer, they're not. The lights were pretty bright in the dark sky. They're not directly going for you. They are clearly at the point where they might clip the back wing of your car. But they're still away. They're a distance off.
I guess 5 people want to get blacklisted. That's mechanics. I have to go to the next town over and get the car fixed now.
It's going to be really awkward.
Just because someone's a friend of Dave's doesn't mean they're a friend of Cody's.
No.
Let's get in the car. So we'll get in. We'll follow.
Okay. We will, leap in the car and set off after them. Why not?
Perfect.
Clowns. Nigel gets in the car.
Brilliant. You all get in the car as this bassy Nickelback sound gets uncomfortably close. I mean, it was uncomfortably close when it was the other, 4 spaces down or whatever in the car park. They steer away from they don't purposefully hit your car, but there is some gravel scattered up the side that you can hear. I don't know how bad the damage is going to be just yet. And they roar off into the night as the 3 of you presumably put your seatbelts on.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Your choice, but I'd recommend it. I'd recommend it to anyone, frankly. And they pull off onto the little country lane that leads up to the car park reasonably quickly.
Yep.
So you start up the car.
Oh yeah, we're in follow.
Brilliant. You can turn around and sort of follow them at your own pace. And as we leave the car park, it seems a perfect time for you all to recap us with some stories of Dave, as we are now on to our next location and the end of a scene.
Lovely. Good timing.
We can either do that now, or if you want to have time to think about them, we can possibly do this on another session. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, what do you fancy? Do you fancy coming up with some stories in the off season and regaling people at the start of the next one?
Yeah,
Or
I think we struggled enough with the last ones that maybe we need some time.
possibly. Okay. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that gives you guys some time to have fun with some stuff and puts you under a little bit less pressure. Any
I
good
need time to
GM
look
would
at
have
Nigel's
warned you
list of
before the
stories
game.
that he wants to tell so I can steal them.
Yeah, there is that. There's that. But yes, you make your way down the country lanes. You head back onto the main sort of A road. I don't know what the equivalent of that is in America. Apologies, Sparrow. You head out of these little narrow country lanes and you get onto the next main road that is lit, that has lights on it, and you can clearly. I tell you what, make a challenging roll for following.
Okay.
Just to be on the safe side. Or you can spend a luck, or if you're arguing that you've got any skill points, you can.
I think I might spend a luck. I don't want to lose them.
Yeah,
this feels like
I mean, I
a good
want
time to
to
spend a
lose
luck.
them
I
after we
think.
find Dave, but
This
it
could
feels
be an important one.
Cool. So you can spend a luck, and you can avoid the roll to make it an easy challenge. These guys aren't, as we established, they're not the brightest people in the world. So you can clearly
that's
follow
a
them.
shame. Do you think Dave would have better taste?
But Dave likes everyone. He's just a good guy. He's got an eclectic bunch of friends.
He's a great guy.
You're going to come across some random people, I would assume. But you can follow them easily enough. They're heading back towards town, and as you pass the big sign on the outskirts of town that says "Welcome to Western Schadenwildenton."
Mm-hmm.
It was something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was the
get it right. If you're going to say the town name, get
Western
it right.
Schadenwildenton.
Western Schadenwildenton. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Schadenwildenton.
Western Schadenwildenton. Yeah.
It is colloquial.
The Shardies.
Yeah, that is what we'll call it for the evening.
Lovely.
Thank you, Ewan.
Yeah.
So, as people watching may have realised, we've turned another one shot into a two shot because that's our style.
Yeah, my apologies. My pacing is terrible at the best of times. But...
No, I refuse to blame the GM on the basis that it can't therefore be my fault when we've done it with games I've run.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, I'm starting to like Dave even more now that he's clearly running an outreach program for the quarter-witted.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes,
I could have taken that guy. Cody thinks.
Definitely could have taken him.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, no, I think I think that was an absolutely cracking game. Thank you, Ewan. That was great fun, and we will resume it. When we have a moment in the new year, we're thinking, right?
Yeah, let's finish it in January sometime.
Lovely.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Which is not that far away.
Terrifyingly not.
I can't believe
terrifyingly close.
Over.
I know, it's scary, isn't it? We've hit December quite quickly.
But it sounds like a perfect plan. This week, tomorrow, in fact, we've got. You're going to have to remind me of the name, Luke. It's Terror Sunday. It's horror stuff. Luke's going to be doing some
Spooky Sunday.
Spooky Sunday.
His computer.
It's
Spooky Sunday.
It's alliterative.
It is slightly more alliterative than the way you originally expressed it. Yes.
Terror Tuesday.
I could think of some more slightly rude words that alliterate with Sunday that embody Luke cowering behind his computer screen. But I won't go there.
You've ruined it. You've ruined it for Fids now.
You broken socks.
Terror Sunday. Oh no!
I'm sorry. I apologise. It's not canon. It's definitely not canon.
I
It's whatever Luke says it is what it is. I'm going
I-
to get a t-shirt with that on.
I do feel terror on Sunday sometimes, though. There are moments of terror.
We've got Spooky Sunday tomorrow. Moving on swiftly. Where Luke plays games till dawn. Not till dawn. He plays till dawn.
Until dawn, yeah. I play Until Dawn on Sunday nights for about 90 minutes or 100 minutes or so. So about 11:45.
Mhm.
The old video game viewers, we come and hang out, don't we? And we'll get scared together and talk about which characters we like and hate, and about Vincent Price. We pay homage. Hey, Skiss, you joined us right at the end as we were about to sign off. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing? You're doing good. We'll lurk for a couple of minutes to speak to you. What else we doing? What's after Spooky Sunday, Ewan?
Well, then that takes us on to, it takes us on to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but Baltic Star-wise, it takes us on to Thursday, I believe, which again is more Luke Plays. Is it Luke Plays this Thursday, or are we Ben's Behind the Screens?
I think this one, well, it isn't a BTS, I'm afraid. So this one is very likely to be a Hitman 2 trip to somewhere, but I can't actually remember where you are at the moment.
Well, when I was there in 1993, it was Bombay, but now it's Mumbai, of course.
Mumbai, that's right, because we're trying to find a way to drop a moose on people, aren't we?
An elephant, I believe, golden elephant.
Oh, that would be even better.
Look,
That could make a hell of a mess, couldn't it?
we've got 3 targets in Mumbai. We've killed one. We blew them off the edge of a building with a giant fan, which was joyous. We've come across. Is it the crows? They're very carefully hidden.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we've got 2 more people to kill in Mumbai. That's our Thursday.
Yes, I think that's wonderful. The only city to change its name because it was being used in an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. I think that's brilliant.
I'd change my name if I was being
Same
used
here,
in an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical.
Andrew Lloyd Webber had made a musical with my city's name in the title. It'd be like, guys, we're changing the name.
In fact, Luke's name used to be Mr. Mistopheles, but he had to change it. I don't even know if that's a Lloyd Webber, but it is now. It's canon.
my name used to be James Corden, then I changed that very quickly.
Which then brings us on to Friday, and Friday we've got a special Friday coming up, haven't we? We're out and about on the town.
Assuming all of us can remain disease free.
Yeah.
Which we do not have a strong record at.
We've had
0 for 2, in fact.
Yeah, we've had some cancellations on the night out front. Skiss, I think we're halfway to saving Dave. Went to his apartment, struck out, made ourselves some sandwiches, went to an abandoned mill, struck out, made some enemies. Now, Cody is driving us at breakneck speeds back towards the town in our hope to save Dave.
Mm-hmm.
We're following a herd, basically, of wandering morons that we encountered. So I think we're doing so on the basis that despite the fact they're clearly idiots, they may know more than us. Which there's a lesson in there, isn't there?
I will say about Thursday and Friday and Saturday, though I love you all, it's not because I don't. I will not be in chat.
What?
Because I'm going to a convention.
Oh.
Life happens, to be fair.
So it's not a lack of love. That is why I'm absent. Socks especially. I love you. I just want to be around.
We all love socks.
Excellent. So yes, Friday we're going to be out and about in Canterbury, we hope. Assuming they let us in.
They will let us into Canterbury. I was born there. I have a card that lets me in.
Fine, that's great. So we'll do that. And then Saturday, we have no idea what we're doing on Saturday, do we?
It could be me and you, innit, Ben? I
I'm
think.
in Philadelphia. Why not?
It is. Alas, I'm away Saturday. So,
Doesn't that mean this is the first time since we did the roundup that we haven't had an actual Traveller episode this weekend? This coming one.
It's true. It feels
a weird thing, isn't it?
It feels too soon for travel. Should we play that map game, Ben?
Well, remind me of the map game.
What's it called, Ewan? The one where we make the map?
Quiet
something
Year.
about
A Quiet Year.
Yeah.
You know
Good.
what? Let's
Good
give it a
catch,
shot.
bro.
Yeah, why not?
A quiet year.
That sounds lovely. Yeah, we'll do that.
Quiet. Yes, you can, Fids. You can get in on the map game. Fids is going to join us on a quiet year. It's canon. It's canon.
Yeah. If
And with
you
a huge
fancy it,
erection.
we will absolutely do that. Of course, we will.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll have to
lovely.
catch the VOD of that. That sounds amazing.
Have you managed to cut in on any of them yet? Have you been able to watch any of the quiet year? Spez.
Oh yeah. I caught the last half of one of them.
Not
I
the one.
caught the last half of two of them.
Not the one with the huge erection at the end.
I believe so. Yeah.
The one that you get sucked off. Whatever it
Yeah.
was.
I remember that.
Oh, no.
Anyone just
I
joining
did
us
actually
now, that
watch
is
these
exactly
guys
how it sounds.
playing it. I think it was when I was at Fright Fest, wasn't it, that you did Quiet Year?
Yeah.
And obviously I watched it because, well, it's in my contract. I'm part of the stream, so I watched it. But I thought it looked enormously fun and freeform, and I think, provided we have a drink and have a giggle while we're doing it, it'll be enormous fun.
It is great fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I will do my best to be along for chat, but not at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Fair
I will
enough.
most definitely be late.
We will try that. So actually, that's covered us until essentially this time next week, which is as far ahead as I'm sure we need to go.
Yeah.
Any further?
As far ahead as we've ever been, I think.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, we don't really have bigger plans than that ever.
No.
Mm.
Plus the whole linear time thing makes it difficult to get much further ahead.
Yeah, it's the timey-wimey thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's us. That's us for the evening, unless anybody else has any announcements. We will, in some form or another, see, hopefully, most of you tomorrow for Spooky Sunday.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's always a riot watching Luke come very, very close to losing control of his bodily functions.
It is embarrassing sometimes. I'm a full-grown man. I just squeal like a child. It's horrific. I'm not very good with scary games. Why have I done Spook? Why am I doing Terror Sunday? Because I'm scared of scary games. Anyway, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ewan. Thank you, channel legend Sparrow.
Yeah, Sparrow.
Yeah, it's been so nice to have you join us for this one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben.
The best thing
I'm
about
having a great time.
The best thing about taking too long is it's an excuse to get Sparrow back on next month.
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
perfect.
And in fact, that's my excuse. My timing as a GM is perfect, but
Very
I just want Sparrow back.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think that's wonderful. Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Cheers.
Have a good Sunday, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and good night.
Thank you, and good night. Right.